Well, hello and welcome to Viking Park in Erindale, the final day of the Griffin Legal John I. Dent Cup season for 2019. Brett McKay with you for Bar TV Sports, and we're here for the Hahn Superdry Grand Final between Royals and Tuggeranong. It's going to be a cracking day of rugby here. Already good games underway, and we'll get into it very soon. We'll be joined by Ryan Murphy in the pre-game, but first let's talk to the coaches. It'll be Nick Scriven in a moment, but first Wayne Southwell from Royals. And Wayne, rested up. This time of year, a rest has always got to be a good thing, surely.
It is. We've got the sunscreen out today, I think. So, yeah, look, it was a really good week, and to have last Saturday off was obviously a bit of a bonus. But, you know, it's been business as usual, and the guys are excited, obviously, to be there and hopefully get the job done. But it'll be a tough game, obviously.
The ability to name an unchanged side from your qualifying final 2 weeks ago is another huge bonus for you.
Yeah, obviously those combinations mean a great deal coming into it, and we had a pretty physical run in. So it's been a good lead up in terms of tough games like finals footy. And yeah, I mean, it's just great to keep combinations together at this time of year. Yeah.
Best of luck this afternoon, and we'll see if you can make up for last year.
Yeah, I hope so, mate. Thank you. Ta.
Best of luck to Wayne Southwell and Nick Scrivener from Tuggeranong joining me as well. And Nick, 5 changes for you. The headline, I suppose, by Vunapol Fafita and Lenny Kittel unable to back up from last week.
Yeah, so I had a head knock, so that ruled Vunny out straight away, and Lenny had a knee injury. So, you know, at the end of the day, Andrew Robertson stepped up last week for most of the game anyway, so there's not too much disruption.
Facing Royals for the third time in 4 weeks, certainly familiarity is not going to be an issue.
No, we played them a lot last year as well, so the teams know each other pretty well. And I guess what we know about each other, if you don't play well, you know, you probably lose the game. So they're pretty tight teams, and they both, you know, we'll both throw the footy around, so it should be a good game.
Best of luck for the grand final.
No worries, thanks, Brett.
And Ryan Murphy, we're up on the grandstand roof here at Viking Park, and it is just great to see blue skies and sunshine on grand final day for a change, isn't it?
It's so different to anything I've experienced on grand final day, Brett. It's been oddly warm. It's not even that we're dealing with the elements.
We're all shedding layers.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a joy, and it's a joy for absolutely everyone who's here at Viking Park. A great day. It's going to be a fabulous game. Yep. Weather certainly came out for us on grand final day.
Yeah, it's absolutely magnificent to see. Great to see the big crowds from all the clubs down there at the southern end of Viking Park. You can see both Royals and the Tuggeranong Vikings setting up their guards of honour, and there's going to be banners to run through. There's just such a great vibe around today, and we'll as we get through the afternoon, we're scanning across the guards of honour down there. It's just great to see the old jerseys, and there's some vintage jerseys down there particularly. We'll get a shot of the Royals guard of honour here in shortly, I'm sure. But just the number of old jerseys amongst the old Royals crew, it is just so good to see club rugby getting out in numbers like this to support the teams on grand final.
Well, you can see him in his fedora there, absolute legend of the game, Jeff Didier, wearing his old boys jersey.
Yeah,
with his fedora on, an absolute icon of Griffin Legal John I. Dent Cup rugby.
No one else is filling out an old Royals jersey quite like Jeff Didier down there. It's
still a big man.
Great to see.
Former prop.
There he is. Duke, former Wallaby, former Brumby, of course. Jeff Didier there, still cutting a very fine figure. How old is that jersey that he's wearing? It's fantastic.
It's only outdone by that classy fedora.
Absolutely. We better go through some earlier scores on grand final day, mate. It all kicked off this morning with the Queanbeyan Whites beating West in the First Division second grade grand final. They got up there 22 points to 5. In the First Division first grade grand finals, the Gungahlin Eagles 28 beat Goulburn 21. In Colts, a cracking game from what I've been led to believe. Queanbeyan winning there, beating Royals 27-21. In the women's grand final, which just finished only about half an hour ago, it's a big win to Union North, 40 points to 19 over Royals. We just heard you in action calling the second grade grand final between Gungahlin and Tuggeranong, and another win for the Eagles there, mate.
Absolutely, yeah. Queanbeyan and Eagles taking out 2 premierships apiece. It's funny, I think, and of course, the Owls, you know, romping home to the women's grand final. It's funny, it's all gone to script so far. I think with how we thought things might go, Queanbeyan winning in Colts and fourth grade, Eagles hanging on again in second grade, but the script is over now. We have no script for what's going to happen.
That's it.
In this in this game, we don't know what's going to happen.
No.
And it's going to be an absolutely fascinating game from start to finish.
Could be anything from here on. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. I think the key points coming out of all this is that the two sides have met, 3 times in the last month, 4 times this year. Going back to round 10 when Tuggeranong put 50 on Royals at Phillip, winning 54-17. And that was, I think, the surprise point of the competition to that stage. And then round 17 to finish it, and it was effectively a battle for the minor premiership. Tuggeranong 22 beat Royals 17 here, which then a week later we're back here for the qualifying final. Royals get up 21-13 in an absolutely magnificent game, and that's left them rested for today. Tuggeranong had to go through it the hard way, beat Uni North 34-31, I beg your pardon, in Saturday's preliminary final. So it's been, there's really been not a lot between them this year.
Well, I think if you can glean anything from those results, it's that if Vikings are at their absolute best and get a roll on, they can really open up scores against teams. And if Royals are going to win here today, it's going to be close. I think. Look, what you're looking at, you're looking at a game where if you take opportunities, that's the team who's going to win. It's always going to be about that. But for mine, mate, if Vikings can show up and give their best, it's going to be really hard for Royals to hang on here.
And that's interesting. And that's interesting because I think the opposite is also true. If
100%.
Royals get out to as good a start as they did in the qualifying final, then Tuggeranong, having gone through a really tough game last week, and having a lot of their guys have played a full game of second grade today as well, so their bench I don't think is quite going to be as strong today. I think that tips things back in Royals' favour. So
yeah, I agree. I think the more that Vikings have to chase the game, the more it probably plays into Royals' hands, being that organised unit they are. So yeah, it's going to be ever changing. As the minutes tick on, we'll have different perspectives on the game. So just can't wait for it to get going.
Yeah,
mate.
It's great. Look, so much history between these two sides, both from the southern side of Canberra and the ACT. All up, they've played 8 times in grand finals. Vikings, or Tuggeranong leading the head-to-head 6 titles to 2. Most recently, of course, 2018, when Tuggeranong 29 beat Royals 17. But you've only got to go back to 2015, and that was the grand final that broke the Royals drought, wasn't it? 21-17, they beat Tuggeranong on that day. So there's just so much between these two sides. There's just nothing between. The rivalry is always healthy. It's just going to be great.
They're the teams that have defined the modern era of the Griffin Legal John O'Dane Cup, and you're looking at if Vikings can come away with a win here today, just further cementing what an absolute dynasty they have been in these last years. But Royals to the same, adding another crown to their CV, just shows how they've just slowly built since 2015. It's not the same side, but it seems to be the same ethos has carried through since then, with Wayne Southwell, Ben Johnson, those guys.
I'm glad you mentioned different sides, and I had every intention of bringing the team sheets from last year because they are drastically different.
Absolutely.
There is very, very little similarities between either side this time last year, and so that draws us then onto the two teams as they've been named today. Royals from 1 to 15 up front, an unchanged side for Royals, I should say, from their qualifying final as well. So Sione Mao, Connell McInerney, Ryan Kotlowski, the front rowers, Samuel von Blankensee and Hugh Cowan, the locks, Will Morrison, Jack Farrell, Rory Scott, the back row, Pedro Rolando, the 2019 McDougall medalist, is at scrum half with Craig McMahon at fly half behind him. Then Ben Johnson, the captain, Jamie Bodman at inside centre, Jason Swain outside him, Seth Going on the right wing, and Andy Muirhead at fullback. For Tuggeranong, Ryan, it's Sione Towler in at loose head. A forced change there. Vunipola Fafita being ruled out after the head knock last week. Lachlan Lonergan and Angus Wagner are there still up front. Cooper Takata and Darcy Swain were enormous last week in that preliminary final win over Uni North. Then Jamie Field has moved to blindside flanker. Luke Gerzakowski at outside. Angus Allen is back in the side at number 8. And then the back line, Ryan Lonergan, Isaac Thompson in the halves, Ernest Suavai, Noel Alessio at inside centre. Andrew Robinson has shifted to outside centre. Then Ikitau's been ruled out from that injury he picked up early last week. Max Rivalvo on the right wing, and then Dean Wilson at fullback. So 5 changes in all have been forced on the Vikings this week.
Absolutely. It's the two stories of the teams is Royals unchanged, but they got 2 massive names back in there that they lost during the game last time out. Will Morrison fit enough to take to the field at blindside there, wearing number 6, and of course the talisman Ben Johnson.
Yep.
So no, they haven't made any changes, but they very well might have, and it's massive for them to get those two on the park. And for Vikings, you get Angus Allen back in and Ernest Suivai, two really strong players, but they're both still carrying knocks. They'll be running repairs during this game, trying to get through the 80 minutes. And as I said, Sione Taula coming in for Vunipola Fafita, a massively experienced player to be able to bring into this game, but losing a lot of dynamism there with Vunipola Fafita. So
it's a blow, no doubt. So we're just about in readiness for both sides to enter the field of play here. The 2019 Hahn Superdry Grand Final to conclude the Griffin Legal John Dent Cup season. It has been a wonderful, wonderful year of rugby here in the ACT, and I've got no doubt at all it's going to be the conclusion that we really hope it's going to be. So you put me on the spot, Ryan, in our Rugby in the Capital podcast during the week, previewing the grand final. So I'm going to return serve here and put you on the spot. What is your tip? How do you break these two teams down?
My overwhelming feeling during the week is that I feel like Vikings have not given their best as we see them coming onto the field.
Isaac Thompson leading the Tuggeranong Vikings out through a long snaking guard of honour there at the southern end of Viking Park. Look at the crowds. Listen to that noise, mate.
Incredible.
How good.
I love the slow run
fantastic.
out, taking absolutely all of it in.
Tomo coming out with a couple of kids as well. It's great. Fantastic to see that.
Yeah, back to the predictions, mate.
Yeah.
I believe they haven't given their best, and I believe they've been saving it for today. So my tip is Vikings. I believe they'll be defending champions here today, but everyone I've talked to believes it's going to be Royals. So
yeah, well,
I might be still proven wrong.
I'll stick with my tip from the week of Royals, and I can still only separate them, even having a couple of days to think about it. The only thing that I can separate the two sides is that Royals have had the week off. That's all I've got.
Either way, it's fitting that these two sides will compete once again. As I said before, the two sides that have defined this era, going at it again, all the rivalry, all the history, a brilliant occasion for our competition.
And Ben Johnson will lead the Canberra Royals side onto Viking Park. It's a significantly longer guard of honour. The Royals faithful have formed for them, and we might have a little bit of mind games here, Ryan.
Just
Royals just making them wait a
delaying.
little bit, yeah.
But Isaac Thompson, Darcy Swain doing the right thing, huddling up.
And here they come, Royals. You can hear the crowd build up as Ben Johnson, followed by Pedro Orlando, and the Royals side run out to a raucous reception here at Viking Park in Erindale. Listen to that.
That's just sent shivers up my spine, Brett.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
That's incredible.
There he is, Craig McMahon, the veteran fly half for Royals. He's had 3 unsuccessful attempts at retirement, and here he is on grand final day. You're ready to add another title to an impressive rugby CV. Our referee today is Matthew Hogan, I beg your pardon, and he's had a wonderful season. Was named the referee of the year at the McDougall Medal Night earlier in the week, which was strong kudos to him for a really good season.
A personality that can handle these kind of occasions. Nothing will phase him out there today.
Has been here as a player, he's been here as a referee now, so yeah.
So interesting to see Ben Johnson with a massive smile on his face as he ran out.
Yeah.
Absolutely no nerves about him. He'll just be so grateful to be on that park wearing the blue and white for his club. Great to see that. That's rugby at its best.
Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic. So Royals will receive the kickoff. Isaac Thompson and the Vikings will run from the southern end of Viking Park, right to left on your screens. Great to have your company on Bar TV Sports through the Brumbies Rugby and the John Dent Cup Facebook pages. G'day to you from wherever you're watching us. Can't wait to bring you all the action of the Hahn Superdry Grand Final for 2019.
Here we go.
Here we go indeed. Matthew Hogan just checking with the two sides, checking with Ben Johnson, checking with Isaac Thompson in centre field, checks his watch, and here we go in the Hahn Superdry Grand Final for 2019. Is Thompson's kick is long and straight down the throat of Will Morrison, who straight away finds 5 or 6 metres, and it's a good carry to get us underway in the grand final. Ball goes to McMahon and Bodman wide. And this Royals midfield going to have such a bearing on this game, there's no doubt about it. Rolando starting to control things already for Royals, and it's a good carry for Von Blankensee as Rolando sets up for his first kick of the day, and it's not a bad one. It's Forstein Wilson backwards, and Wilson's dropped this, in fact. under the pressure there from Jack Farrell. And we've got advantage here for Royals. Scrum advantage as it is. They choose to go wide. Rolando has this now. It goes to McMahon, who finds Ben Johnson, and he's lost it. And Tuggeranong are going to come away with this. Wilson has it inside his 22 now, looking for space down the blind side. Gets a great offload there to Suavai. Suavai wearing number 11, but definitely playing on the right wing. They come wide through Lalesio. This is Thompson out wide. Andrew Robinson playing 13 today. There's a good carry there from Revalval in 14, but on the left wing here. Tuggeranong having to work for it. Ryan Lonigan getting his hands on the ball eventually.
Nervous start from both sides, making mistakes out there. Vikings looking to settle things now.
Yeah, but already I like that Matthew Hogan's just letting this game flow on. They both took their advantage from the knock-on. McMahon has this kick now, goes wide. He's got Johnson on his outside. He's got a lot more time to get his kick away. This time Ben Johnson eyeing off a little bit of space on the far side. Dean Wilson's down there on his 22, and he comes away into Johnson, gets past Jason Swain, gets a great ball there to Angus Allen on his outside. But now Royals have it again. Bodman gets a kick away. And this game has just gone back and forward already. And Lalesio under pressure from Bodman. Brought to ground in centre field, about 30 out from his own post. Ball goes back to Isaac Thompson. Can't kick this out in the full, but eyes off some space at the back. It's a good bounce. Sits up for Seth Going. McMahon infield further in from him. So is Rolando. He doesn't kick. It comes back to Seth Going. Tuggeranong defence has got there in numbers and quickly, just forcing Seth Going to take this ball into contact. Rolando's there now, and that's a good carry from Cowan. We might have an advantage here to Royals. Little chip over the top there from Rolando. Revalvo has it, and we're going to come back for the first penalty of the Hahn Superdry Grand Final. It was a high tackle, Ryan.
Was just seemed to slip up there. It's pretty harsh. I thought that just, again, let that one flow. Just seemed a little bit harsh. But
didn't really notice it.
I think both front rows will be happy enough for this little break and play. A frantic start from both sides.
We've just had, this is the first break in play we've had, the first 3 minutes of the Hahn Superdry Grand Final, going back and forward.
Both sides struggling to settle, Brett. Just frantic in everything they're doing. This will, as much as it hurts Vikings, it'll help settle them as well, as Ben Johnson rips off a great kick. It's
a great touch finder from Johnson. Finds touch. Let's call it 27 out from the Tuggeranong line on the grandstand side of Viking Park.
Some things to keep an eye on. The strapped hand of Angus Wagner, of course, suffered that finger injury last week.
Taken well at the top by Von Blankensee. They go wide through McMahon. This is Jack Farrell out in the centres. Steps off his left a couple of times. Backs his way into contact. Rolando comes to grandstand side. Finds Connell McInerney, who gets a great offload to Bodman, who in turn is bundled into touch, but he's managed to keep this ball in. Great tackle over the top from Sione Taylor it was. Royals coming away with this through Swain now. He's looking for space on the open side. Swain's through. Swain's still through. He's been taken high there by Darcy Swain. No penalty advantage here. McMahon finds Rory Scott, leading try scorer this year in the Griffin Legal John I. Dent Cup. Rolando has this now. Cowan from his 22. Driving through contact. He's brought down about 18 out. Rolando comes wide to Muirhead. What can he do? Oh, he bumps off a couple of tacklers there. I'm going to come back for a penalty to Royals. Coming back for that high tackle that I mentioned before.
Can't imagine there'll be much debate here.
So straight to the post.
Yeah, it was Darcy Swain on Jason Swain.
On Jason Swain, that's right. So Rolando has pointed to the post already. As I mentioned in the pre-game, the 2019 McDougall medalist Pedro Rolando was named on Wednesday night. Won it by 6 points, 8 points from Ryan Lonigan from Tuggeranong. The two halfbacks have had two very, very good seasons. And Rolando was also the point scorer. Highest point scorer.
By a more healthy margin.
Yeah, by slightly more than 8 points. Certainly. So Rolando had 6 minutes of play here in the Hahn Superdry Grand Final, looking to put Royals ahead 3-0. He hits it low. It's probably not the best kick he's had in 2019, but the result is the same. Flags are up and Royals jump out, Ryan, to a 3-0 lead.
It might be his worst strike of 2019, but it gets him the same result, and funnily enough, the same result as last season. an early 3-0 lead to Royals, settling the better of the two sides. The penalty from Ben Johnson, putting them in the right zones, and they executed well from there, earning the penalty. Jason Swain looking lively at 13.
Yeah, he's had a good month of rugby. Jason Swain certainly is going to be crucial for them today. Seth Going lets this ball go out. It's bounced infield. The assistant referee said that's actually gone in touch on the full, so we're going to come back.
I'm not sure who's made the decision there, Brett. Some seem to be a bit of a discussion there. So going line out or scrum. And now first scrum of the day. Vikings were the more dominant side 2 weeks ago, but now with Sione Taylor in there instead of Vunipola for feet, I'd love to see that. Seriously, I can't imagine it winning close.
Here it is, right? Seth Going let that go. I'm going to put that too. That's bounced inside. I think that's bounced just inside, and they've got away with this one, Royals. So scrum feed in centre field. The Landowner feed.
So interested to see what the difference Sione Taylor makes to this Viking scrum. A veteran of this game, a veteran of this competition. But Vunipola Pepita, a big loss.
Angus Wagner and Ryan Kotluski, the two tight heads, both named in the Griffin Legal John O'Dent Cup team of the season. And Rory Scott pulls this ball out of the back, and he gets away. Rory Scott can't get an offload away. He's brought down the 10-metre line. Muirhead has this. 16 in from touch, just inside the 10-metre line. And we've got a penalty now to Tuggeranong. And it's great work from Ryan Lonergan over his Brumbies teammate. Wins the turnover penalty.
Brilliant from Ryan Lonergan. Talked to Luke Kimmerer during the week on the podcast, as you said, and he said that Ryan Lonergan is one of these guys that no one talks about how strong and physical he is as a halfback, and he's going to have such a big role to play, including getting Vikings down into territory here.
It's not a
massive
bad touch
turnover,
finder.
but Rory Scott having a little bit of influence early. He was quiet at times 2 weeks ago, but if he gets going, the young fella,
it's a good first
very
touch,
tough to stop.
So Lachlan Lonergan to throw into a Tuggeranong attacking line out. It's just outside the Royals 22. 4-man, going to a full 7-man arrangement. Ryan Lonergan in the offset here. Darcy Swain at 3. And he comes forward, takes it at 2. Ryan Lonergan finds Isaac Thompson wide. Lalesio has this. Ravalval gets the ball away to Wilson. Has to stop and pick it up on the bounce. Suavai comes back on Wilson's inside. He's brought down 8 metres in from touch. Royals appealing for a turnover penalty, and they get it.
Jack Farrell. Brilliant over the ball. On-ball pressure going to be so important in this game, slowing down the Vikings' quick ball. Farrell has to step up, and he did there. Brilliant from the Brumbies Academy back row, but just really interested to see the lack of Ikitau in that back line. The firepower just drops off.
It's just a different feel, isn't it? Yeah, Len Ikitau went down
on a
about
positive
10
note,
or 15 minutes in the preliminary final last weekend. If that. And they were certainly a different side without him.
On a positive note for Vikings, Noah Lalesio already injecting himself into the game.
He's taken control of that second phase play already, no doubt. Taken well at the top there by Cowan for Royals. McMahon has this. Jack Farrell's lost it though before he got to contact. And we'll have a scrum. I just wonder.
Was it Rory Scott?
It was Rory Scott, yeah.
Yeah, his teammates just getting around him there. Just one of those mistakes that
might have
happen.
just snuck a little look. Just
Yeah,
as he took the
absolutely.
pass, might have just snuck a little look.
Well, again, he's running the hero line straight into contact there. I'd like to see him run a little bit more square, use his footwork that he's got plenty of it in his locker. But a nice attacking platform now for Vikings. First scrum looked good. We'll see what they can do on their own ball.
The hill on the eastern side of Viking Park there, bathed in sunshine. So many people out. A lot of the Tuggeranong supporters are over there on the eastern side.
The red and white army, they call it.
Yeah. It's great to see. Such good pictures we're bringing to you today on Bar TV Sports. Ryan Lonergan feeds scrum on halfway. Just going forward here for the Vikings.
Great scrum.
Being controlled well there at the back by Angus Allen. Ball's come out though. We're going to have a reset.
Gee, I wonder, had that not crabbed, Vikings were walking all over Royals. They got it perfect there. Wagner putting heaps of pressure on that tight head side on Sione Maul. And then Sione Taylor just backing him up. Early statement there that they might not have Fafita, but they're still
a pretty handy pack.
Handy pack.
Yeah, absolutely. So Hugh Cowan and Rory Scott from Royals both named in the Team of the Year on Wednesday night. Angus Wagner and Ryan Kotluski I've already mentioned. Luke Gerzikowski was on the bench, as was Ryan Lonergan. Angus Allen was named at blindside flanker. So Angus Allen, Rory Scott, both in the side as well. Ryan Lonergan, Pedro Rolando, Jamie Bodman from Royals was another player out. Rolando's got a boot on this as Ryan Lonergan's pulling it out of the scrum, and it's a penalty against him.
Can't do that anymore.
Certainly things you can't do in full view of the referee.
Absolutely not. Bit of a brain explosion there from Rolando. But again,
I'm all for scrum halves trying to test the
it.
laws, mate.
Well, and what it does is it puts, again, putting little messages in Lonergan's brain that he's there, that he's going to be there all day.
Yeah, you're right. G'day, mate. How you going?
Yeah. I will be here all day.
Yeah.
But a good kick from Lonergan too. That's twice. He's not cheapening himself. He's really picking his target and kicking him.
So Tuggeranong's line-out drive in recent
Interesting
weeks
to see,
has
by
been
the way.
really good. And so, is this far enough out? Or is this too far out?
Absolutely.
I don't know.
They
Let's
can
see.
do it, but Ryan Lonergan taking
in the offset. Look at this.
Ryan Lonergan taking the kicking duties from Noah Alessio. We'll come back to that.
Well taken at the top there by Darcy Swain. They do go down into their line-out drive, and it's going forward already. Lachlan Lonergan has it at the back. It's still moving. It's gone 5 metres already, this for the Vikings. A great line-out drive. Royals doing well to bring it to a stop. But it peels off again, the Vikings maul. Ryan Lonergan waiting for it from his brother. But these Viking forwards just keep mauling forward and forward. They've gone 10 metres so far. And Matthew Hogan happy to let them go.
Watch Sue.
Ryan Lonergan gets the nod now. Pulls it out the back. Lalesio in at first receiver. Might have been taken high. We've got penalty advantage. They come wide through. Isaac Thompson goes to the line. Seth going intercepts, and we'll go back to that penalty.
Again, the line out, brilliant. We hear the call for points from Vikings, but again, once the first phase went down, Vikings kind of searching for options there with Isaac Thompson. Thought they might have gone blind with Suavai. He had a one-on-one matchup with Craig McMahon. And
so unsurprisingly, Ryan Lonergan points straight to the post.
No questions. Was instrumental in their premiership winning performance last year, particularly in that second half.
Yep.
Him and Noel Alessio kicking goals during the week. Both striking them very well. Lonergan taking the duties today, both off the tee and out of hand.
That's interesting, isn't it?
And it's interesting given Noel Alessio had a tough day.
Of course, this time last year, Noel Alessio was really announcing himself as a player of some note. As Ryan Lonergan hits this very well, flags are up there, and the score is back to 3-3 in the Hahn Superdry Grand Final.
It's an excellent response from the Vikings, mostly through their pack and through their on-ball pressure, earning themselves a couple of penalties, coming away with points is going to be so crucial.
We've had 14 minutes of play here at Viking Park, and it's gone quick. Right, it's been a really quick game already as Bodman gets us underway as his kick goes deep. A little bit of confusion down there amongst the Vikings players who was taking it. Dean Wilson has it. He's been isolated here. Some good work there from his back rowers with him. Gets this ball back. It's slow ball though for Ryan Lonergan. This is Takeda. He's had a good couple of weeks. The finals rugby, the young lock. Ryan Lonergan pulls this ball out, kicks from the base. And Andy Muirhead's happy to watch that go into touch in front of him.
Taking all the responsibility on himself from Ryan Lonergan. Have to have the big players step up on grand final day. And early on, he's just taking every bit of pressure he can away from the rest of his teammates. Brilliant leadership from the young halfback.
So McInerney to throw in for Royals on the Tuggeranong 10-metre line. From Blankensy, can't get a hand on it, but well taken at the back by Kotluski. Canadian tight head prop. Rolando has the ball in front of him now. McMahon goes into contact himself. Brought down on the 10-metre line in centre field. Rolando finds Sione Mau. There's Will Morrison there in behind him. He's lost a metre or two there, Royals, but Rolando is just setting it up. This is Will Morrison.
That's a couple from Will Morrison
really good
early.
Run. Really good run. McMahon coming wide here through Muirhead. Bodman runs a good ball to put Rory Scott into the face of Isaac Thompson. Rolando comes short side for Muirhead. Oh, it's a bit of a tick-up tackle there from Andrew Robinson and Matthew Hogan.
He knows he's in a bit of trouble here, Andrew Robinson.
But I think Andrew Robinson very quickly realised what was going on and did well to get Andy Muirhead back to ground safely. So
still a decision to be made here, Brett.
Yeah, replay on this now. You can see, and there's a player there.
It's yellow at a minimum.
Yeah, I think you're right. So Jamie Fields, the other player involved.
Could be a mitigating factor, the extra player there.
Yeah, could be. So Matthew Hogan having a conversation with his assistant referee here.
We said before he won't be bothered by the big decisions, Hogan. And he's got one to make here. I believe, and we see them gesturing towards their side, that it might not have been directly on the neck. So, look, from mine, it's yellow, but if we see red here, I won't be surprised.
I guess the question there is who is actually the player at fault too? That's going to be the interesting question.
Initially, it's Robinson.
He's called Robinson out. Matthew Hogan, they're talking to Isaac Thompson. That's Andrew Robinson there in number 13. The Tuggeranong outside centre. Reaching into his pocket, and it is a yellow card for Andrew Robinson in the grand final.
I think that's fair. On balance of the incident, I think that's probably fair. We've seen on a couple of occasions some decisions have maybe been in the balance. I think that's brilliant refereeing from Matthew Hogan to set out his stall. That is yellow, and it will be penalised straight away, but not a red for mine either. Now a massive opportunity for Royals these next 10 minutes as Ben Johnston plugs the corner to lay a massive marker in this game.
Huge attacking set-piece opportunity now for Royals. McInerney to throw in on the grandstand side. It's going to be 10 metres out from the Tuggeranong line, running straight to a very healthy Royals contingent at the southern end. Von Blankensy's lost the ball at the top, though. It's gone back, though. Farrell has this. Peels off in front of the post, Jack Farrell. One quick ball now, Royals. Rolando has it, goes the open side. Bodman finds a great ball for Jason Swain to score the first try of the Hard Super Dry Grand Final in front of the Royals faithful. This is going to look brilliant on the replay.
Well, I tell you what, he couldn't have picked a better line, Jason Swain, and straight down the channel that Andrew Robinson just left. Ernest Suavoy had to step into 13, and Bodman and Swain combined perfectly. You see now, the line he picks is beautiful, and the fist pump after the try in front of his home support.
I want you to watch Jamie Bodman here. Just held it up a little bit, short ball, straight back on for that run for Jason Swain.
Straight, as we said before, straight into that channel that Robinson would have been occupying. Had to be a bit of a rejig back line with Suavoy stepping into 13, and they went straight for it, Royals. Clinical, brilliant from Royals, and they've made them pay for losing the man.
Jason Swain gets the first try.
As we said, he was lively.
Yeah, we did. He's been playing some great rugby in this back end of the season. The Royals outside centre, and Pedro Rolando now with a conversion just inside the 22. So 20 metres in from touch, eastern side of Viking Park. Kicking straight towards the Royal supporters. Rolando's conversion attempt is good. And so at 18 minutes of play in the Hard Super Dry Grand Final, and Royals lead 10 points to 3.
Royals have to be thinking maximising these next 10 minutes now. No points conceded, and if they can add a score with Vikings, the weapons they have, if they can build up a lead, it'll be huge for them. With Vikings, if they can just hold on here and even maybe add 3, give them huge confidence.
We mentioned this time last year what Noel Alessio was doing in this game. Jamie Bodman was playing at fly half for Royals last year, so you know
he's just so much more comfortable there.
And he's such an underrated ball player as well, Jamie Bodman, but he's going to be crucial today. This ball's come off Kotluski into touch, and it is going to be a Vikings throw. Royals a little bit confused there between Cowan and Kotluski, whether they let that go, and in the end it's just come off Ryan's arm in the end. So Lachlan Lonergan with a line-out throw inside the Royals' 10-metre line. 36 out from the Royals' line. Taken well at the back there by Darcy Swain. They drop back into this line-out drive. Tuggeranong, it served them so well. Gerzikowski pulls it out, and he's brought down nicely and swiftly by Rory Scott in centre field. Ryan Lonergan pulls out and snipes himself. Darcy Swain into a bit of space. A big lock. Game's come on leaps and bounds in 2019 with a bit of Super Rugby experience. Here's a good carry from Sione Towler, he was stopped in his tracks. They go to the short side. Ryan Lonigan for the Vikings.
Testing those channels is Lonigan.
Wagner plays scrum half and naturally goes to his front row teammate in Sione Towler. Ryan Lonigan finds Takata in centre field. He's about 25 out. Lonigan comes short side to Lalesio. This is a good run there back from Suavai, back on the inside shoulder. Ryan Lonigan goes short again, and it's a big hit on Jamie Field. Ball spills free. Jack Farrell just puts a boot on it, and he's leading the chase here, Jack Farrell. Revalvo is back there. Dean Wilson's with him for Tuggeranong. But it's good work from the Royals back row. Dean Wilson has this in a bit of space, trying to get away from Ben Johnson. Dean Wilson, chip over the top near halfway. Muirhead's there to clean up. And he might have a bit of a crack here, Andy Muirhead. Brought down in a good tackle in the end by Ryan Lonigan, just inside the Tuggeranong half. Rolando is there for Royals, goes short himself, gets an offload away to Seth Going, who finds Bodman. Bodman comes back on the inside and runs into the shoulder of Sione Towler. Does well there, Bodman, to get his way to the 10-metre line. McInerney finds Sione Maul with a good carry from the loose head in centre field. Rolando comes grandstand side. McMahon dummies to Swain. Takes it into contact. Rolando has this. McInerney, he can't get an offload away in centre field. Cowan out the back to Muirhead. Bodman is there. Laid on a beautiful try for Jason Swain for the opening try. The Griffin Legal John I. Dent Cup Grand Final for 2019. Will Morrison it is. As Royals stack up the possession and the phases inside the Tuggeranong half. It's a patient build-up here. From Blankensy, he's bumped backwards by Towler. Gets an offload away to Morrison. He's hit backwards as well there by Lachlan Lonigan. Rolando pulls the ball back a couple of metres. This is Johnson off McMahon. Johnson's in a little bit of space. Can't find Swain on his inside. It's quick ball here now for Rolando. Goes short side. Finds Jason Swain, who's stopped nicely there by Revalvo. Ball spills out. Rolando gets it. Bodman gets it. Rory Scott now. He's brought down inside the Tuggeranong 22. They go wide through McMahon for Royals. Andy Muirhead out the back, trying to get past Isaac Thompson. Gets the ball. Can't find Jack Farrell. I think this has come off a Tuggeranong player here, Ryan.
Yeah, it's going to come back for a knock-on from
off Suavai.
How about the build-up from Royals? Clear directive there to just play with patience, and when the space appears, go for it. So Ben Johnson come around the corner with a bit of gas, found a seam, but just couldn't quite go through it. But just keep an eye out for that later in the game, Brett. They go slow, they go deliberate, and as a team. And when the opportunity arises, they just go.
We talk
a clear
about
directive, and they're all sticking to it.
We've spoken a lot over the last month about the way that Rolando manages games, but already we're seeing a lot of the direction of Royals is coming from McMahon at the moment.
Absolutely.
And
then what they're doing is they're allowing Ben Johnson and Andy Muirhead to just float in behind and pick their spots. So just, again, something to keep an eye on. You can already see it. Andy Muirhead coming around a corner, finding a slow runner and bursting through a gap. You see Sione Towler.
Yeah, Sione Towler just getting some attention there, just on the 22. Matt Hogan's there with him.
Be down to their third choice loose head if he can't continue. He seems fit enough to keep on going.
Matthew Hogan says, let's get this going, gentlemen. We've had 23 minutes of play in the Hahn Superdry Grand Final, and it's our thanks to our competition partners throughout 2019 who've been wonderful supporters. First and foremost, Griffin Legal, the John I. Dent Cup naming rights sponsor. Hahn Superdry have brought you the matches around every week. They've been great supporters of ACT Rugby, and we of course thank Rourke Projects, True Fit and Hill, PTP, McDonald's ACT, O'Neill's and Poplars. You're watching the Hahn Superdry Griffin Legal John I. Dent Cup Grand Final on Brumbies Rugby's live streaming partner, Bar TV Sports. Brett McKay and Ryan Murphy atop the Viking Park grandstand roof. It is a wonderful day in the nation's capital. No wind to speak of and beautiful blue sky as Royals are on attack through. Ben Johnson gets a good run, brings this ball 15 short. Cowan pick and drive into the opposition line, and it's lost it in contact there. Great work from the Tuggeranong defence, Ryan.
Luke Gerzakowski, Angus Allen targeting the ball. Brilliant collision there in midfield. Again, Royals just get caught a little bit high there with Ben Johnson. Seemed to be a little bit of timing issues there between Rolando and Johnson. For me there, with the man down in that 13 channel, do the same again. Go hard direct and then try to exploit that 13 channel. Playing into Royals' hands there, keeping it nice and tight with the man down.
Tuggeranong have been watching Canberra Raiders replays, stripping balls like that this year.
I'll tell you what, Gerzakowski, he put his shoulder directly on the ball.
Yeah, and then Angus Allen over the top. The noise from Viking Park today, it's been absolutely magnificent.
This would have been the exact start the Royals would have wanted, to bring their crowd into things and to put all the momentum on their side. You hear them there in massive voice already.
Really getting into it, giving their bench a bit of a cheer. Joel Pender's just getting the blue bag faithful.
The face of Royals, Joel Penders.
Joel Penders, he is, very much so. It's a big scrum from Royals here, Ryan. Ball spills out the back for Rolando. They've won the penalty here now. And listen to the blue baggers.
When they get the position wrong, this Royals pack are so big and so strong. If Sione Taylor or Angus Wagner get their high wrong at all, that's what's going to happen all day. Brilliant scrum from Kaluski, brilliant scrum from Sione Maul, and an automatic 3 points, we have to think, with Pedro Rolando.
You say automatic, and I think ultimately they've gone to the decision that we thought they probably would go to, but there was genuine conversation down there as to whether they scrum again.
Well, look, what you've got to take your wins when you get them. We saw already that Viking scrum is very powerful when they get it right. They're very tough to deal with, so I think you take your 3 when you get them. You make that a 10-point game with Andrew Robinson in the bin as Robbo looks to return to the field. So, but for mine, it's the right option.
Rolando's penalty attempt is straight between the posts. So the score jumps out to 13 points to 3. Royals leading Tuggeranong in the Hahn Superdry Grand Final. For Tuggeranong now, Ryan.
Let's hear the communication with Royals. Everyone talking to each other about the next job. Everyone getting around each other. A real team in the truest sense of that word. Effective communication everywhere, and they've started so brilliantly in this first half.
Thompson's kick is curling towards the sideline again. Morrison has to take it, and he's going to get bundled into touch here. He's done well to keep this ball in play. It was a good kick from Thompson in the end. I thought it came off the inside of his boot and was going to spiral into touch comfortably, but came down inside the field of play. Rolando just sorting out his forward runners. Sione Maul is there. Again, he runs straight into Lachlan Lonigan and Cooper Taketa. Will Morrison getting there at the top. Rolando's spilt that ball at the back and he forces him to dummy and he runs into some space. Ball has come off a Tuggeranong player. Johnson has to go back inside his 22 to clean up, and he gets a kick downfield. Isaac Thompson is there to clean up for the Vikings. Comes back to the 10-metre line. He's got Rory Scott in front of him. Gets away from Scott. He's still going here, the Tuggeranong captain, with Lachlan Lonigan in support, and he bumps off Andy Muirhead, brought down by McMahon. 35 out. Ryan Lonigan comes grandstand side. This is Swain, who finds Ravalval looking for Andrew Robinson. Robinson has to stop, but he's in space now, Robinson. Andrew Robinson comes to Johnson, who brings him down. He's still going, though, is Robinson. In the end, McInerney brings him to ground. Ryan Lonigan finds D'Alessio out wide. Thompson, great ball there for Jamie Field, who's brought down about 6 in from touch. About 10 short there in the northeastern corner of Viking Park. Ryan Lonigan is mobbed by Royals defenders.
Should have been 7, Brett. And Robinson made the break.
It felt like a missed opportunity. Ryan Lonigan goes short side through Thompson. Ernest Suavai. He's at 8 short now. Darcy Swain with a nice pull in of that Ryan Lonigan pass. Sione Maul now. He's brought down 7 short. Ryan Lonigan is barreled at the back of the ruck by Royals forward. Angus Allen has it now for Tuggeranong. They're not making ground though, still 7 out here, Tuggeranong. Darcy Swain has this. Gets the ball back to Isaac Thompson. Alessio steps left and right. Ball stripped out the back. Isaac Thompson has this great tackle around his ankle there by Seth Going. And we're going to come back to a penalty.
If I was Vikings, I'd be attacking down this right-hand channel every chance I get. Craig McMahon on Ernest Suavai. It's not a matchup Royals want, and it's there all day. Well, I wonder, is there advantage from that Jamie Field tackle earlier?
Yeah, it might have been.
It was a long advantage, but...
Ryan Lonigan just getting himself sorted. He's going to kick for the corner.
We saw them all working really well earlier.
Yeah.
Darcy Swain, it's not a role everyone talks about, but the effectiveness of a lock in that area can be so important, and he's brilliant at it. Big benefit for them last week.
He's got so much experience at John Dent Cup level, Darcy Swain, but we forget he's only 23. If that old? Yeah. Takes it at the front. Drops straight down. Sione Towler has it. Maul doesn't get going, but they might not need it here, Tuggeranong. Ball's there for Ryan Lonigan at the back, sorting out his forward runners again. Comes to Angus Allen, steps off his left and drives through the contact. Angus Allen, he's held up. Can they get him over the line? No, he's brought down a metre out. Sione Towler for the line for Tuggeranong. Can't get there. Ryan Lonigan has this. Thompson comes wide. Thompson goes to the line. Alessio goes to the line. He's brought down in a desperate tackle by Seth Going here. Ryan Lonigan goes wide. Andrew Robinson can't find Max Mavalval. This Royals defence is holding up beautifully so far. Ball's there for Ryan Lonigan. Finds Takeda. Brought down by Kotluski. 5 out. Left-hand side of the uprights. Lachlan Lonigan in front of the posts, but about 7 short. Ryan Lonigan goes short to Ravalval, is it? Suavai it is, yeah. Sione Towler for the lines there for Tuggeranong. They needed that.
Ryan Lonigan, he's just picking Royals apart at the base there. Way more patient build-up from Vikings. Absolutely brilliant from them. They had a couple of chances go begging, but in the end, the execution was brilliant. Lonigan peels around the corner, pops it up to Towler, and if they could have picked a man to get over for a 5-pointer in this first half, they would have picked Sione Towler. Yeah. He's doing a brilliant job coming into this team for this grand final.
Came from open side to short side, Sione Towler, and he was just there, ran a great line, got through the tackle of Conor McInerney, and drove over the veteran Loosehead.
Well, they were just forced to defend so much, Royals. In the end, they ran out of numbers. Conor McInerney putting a good shot on, but Towler with a bit of momentum. Yep. The line was perfect. The pass was brilliant.
Important conversion here for Ryan Lonigan with 8:40 on the clock in this first half of the Hard Superdry Grand Final. Let's bring it back to 13-10 now before the break.
The right names are starting to get their hands on the ball for Vikings. Allen, Swain, Lonigan. Building a bit of momentum as we close out this first half.
Lonigan's conversion is about 18 in from touch. He's only taken it about 18 metres back. Sharp angle, but he's hit it well. Flags are up. And the score's back to 13 points to 10 in favour of Royals in the Hard Superdry Grand Final.
It's funny, you just go back to that Rolando half break. He was away, he was looking for Seth Going on the right-hand edge, and you would not have caught Seth Going if he had got his hands on the ball. As it was a knock-on. Continued to play. Vikings get back.
Bodman goes short. Suavai takes this well above the Royals. Chases through. Jack Farrell was there. The right winger. Alessio comes to the line. His first real attacking run of note. Sione Towler trying a grand final for the big prop. Thompson has this. Darcy Swain hit hard there in centre field there by Samuel von Blankensee. Ryan Lonigan has scrappy ball, gets it passed back to Isaac Thompson, and he just kicks this ball down into touch. Doesn't so much roll end over end, side over side, but it gets there in the end.
Yeah, excellent option from Thompson. Notice the attacker broke down, just got his side right back down into Royals territory. Sam von Blankensee, geez, he hit Darcy Swain with a shot.
Didn't he though? Get a good shot of this.
Just, you're seeing there's a lot of the physical bodies out there just aren't there for the Vikings at times. We see Conor McInerney come to the line now.
Who I have to say has fallen off a few tackles. I think he's had a bit of a quiet first half, has Connell, but that's a good throw to Morrison at the top. McMahon has this for Royals. Bodman goes wide to Muirhead, who's in a bit of space out here now. Andy Muirhead has Ben Johnson on his outside, and the Royals captain is in open space. Can Ben Johnson get to the corner? He can for Royals.
What a try!
Ben Johnson scores a wonderful try for Royals from inside their 22 off a set piece.
Well, I tell you what, they just sucked in, Vikings, and Bodman, you said it, Brett, the second playmaker, finds Muirhead in acres of space, and he just burns Robinson on the outside. Thought he might have timed his pass wrong, but Johnson...
thought he might have thrown it too early, but Ben Johnson shows he's still got a bit of speed. So's Dean Wilson, though.
I can't believe Wilson got that close, but the strength from Johnson in the end to finish it off. What a moment in this game. Andy Muirhead will be said, the big names for Vikings were stepping up. No two bigger names than Andy Muirhead and Ben Johnson for Royals combining. We said they'd pick their moments, and they picked one all right.
Well,
what a try.
BJ with a famous grand final try in the 2015 win over Tuggeranong here that broke Royals' 24-year premiership drought.
The one that sealed it in 2017 as well.
It was too. So Pedro Rolando. And this is equally an important kick. Get the score back out to 10 and going into the break.
When Vikings scored that try, you felt that they were just starting to tick, so it's a massive score for Royals.
It's a big response. Rolando's conversion from the sideline is not quite there, just across the face of goal. Score remains 18 points to 10 in the Hahn Superdry Grand Final.
Absolutely is a big conversion, because 10-point lead going into the second half would have been fair reflection for how dominant Royals have been at times. Now 8 points with a chance now for Vikings to respond.
I can't wait to watch that try again.
We'll be watching that try for a long time.
That's an absolute ripper. Absolute ripper. Thompson goes long for Tuggeranong. Rolando is going to take it inside the 22 comfortably, gets his kick for the line. Dean Wilson takes it well inside his half. They don't go quick. And so that's a really good exit for Royals. In the shadow of halftime, we've got just over 4 minutes of play in the Hahn Superdry Grand Final. Royals 18 leading Tuggeranong 10 here at Viking Park. Big crowds on the eastern side, on the southern end as well. Grandstand underneath us here is back to the rafters. It's been a wonderful day of Grand Final rugby here in the south of Canberra. Royals go wide through Andrew Robinson now. Yellow card for a dangerous tackle earlier in the first half. Lalesio, he's getting his hands in on the ball a little bit more now, Ryan. Andrew Robinson stayed down though in midfield. Ryan Lonigan finds Takata. Comes wide again through Sione Tala. Runs straight into the Royals back row. Lalesio again on a flying line, gets past from Blankensy. Ryan Lonigan again is mobbed at the back, but not legally. Will Morrison is protesting with Matthew Hogan.
It was very close either way. Morrison thought he might have just timed it perfectly, but judged to have come in the side. So there's fine margins in these games. Now Vikings with a chance to set up a maul, which we of course has been so strong early doors here. Kick from Lonigan's good. See Conor McInerney just talking to his forwards there. Stressing Mouldy straight away. He knows what's coming. I wonder, is this a perfect chance now for Vikings to get some pressure on?
Yep. Big opportunity here now for Tuggeranong.
Possibly to throw in a bit of variation as well.
That's it. Going into a six-man line out. Luke Guzikowski standing in the offset. Great shot for you from ground level. Taken. It's overthrown at the back though. Jamie Field has to clean up on the Tuggeranong side of it. He's brought down just inside the Royals 22. Ryan Lonigan digs this ball out. Sione Taylor in front of the post. Will Morrison brings him to ground. Ryan Lonigan goes to Wagner, who's brought down by Bodman it was in the end. They keep going short side through Lalesio, finds Ernest Suavai over there, who's brought down in a great tackle by Andy Muirhead. Royals might have this. Sione Mau with the steal.
He has done. He's absolutely bullied his way to that ball, Sione Mau.
Yeah, great tackle and clean up work on Ernest Suavai in the end. And Royals have this. They go short side. Have they lost it though? Still there for them. Sione Mau goes short side again, and the big man finds 7 or 8 metres in the 5 metre tram tracks there. McMahon comes wide through Rory Scott. Bodman pats on to Seth Going. He has to do something from a standing start. Bumps off Jamie Field, but goes to ground in the end. Rolando, he's sorting out his runners again. McInerney dummies to his inside.
Can't overplay here, Royals. Just got to exit.
Just over a minute to play in the first half. McMahon finds Bodman, who steps off his right. Is back into the contact of Jamie Field. Cowan, Will Morrison, that is, I beg your pardon. Had Cowan on his outside. Rolando's mobbed this time by Gerzakowski from Blankensee with a big carry. There's a Vikings player in there on that, doesn't get his hands on it. Swain eyes a bit of space here. Jason Swain brought down in a really desperate tackle by the Vikings. They're still playing here, Royals, inside the last 30 seconds. Cowan's lost this, and Tuggeranong will get one last shot before half-time.
And that's just why you can't overplay in your own red zone. It was good attack from Royals, and they had a quick shot, but that was the last one. They had to just get out of their own zone.
Now we've got a replacement player coming on here. This is Joey Langtree in number 23.
I wonder, is that for Andrew Robinson?
I wonder if it's for Andrew Robinson, but
or
I can see Dean Wilson is getting a bit of attention, but it does appear to be for Ernest Suavai.
I'm saying there's a couple running repairs out there.
Yeah, well, and there was a question mark over Suavai coming
absolutely.
into the game. So
I think that would have been the absolute max he could give to them today. But Joe Langtree, a very experienced player, onto that right wing. But what it takes away from Vikings is a big body. They lack some big bodies in there to really bend the line, to allow the likes of Lalesio to play quick and into space. So a big loss for them.
Yeah, another experienced player. Tuggeranong goes down for Tuggeranong in the grand final. Ernest Suavai there. So time is just about up in the first half of the Hahn Superdry grand final. Tuggeranong will get one last shot as we hear the halftime siren down below us. Royals 18 leading Tuggeranong 10. It's been a wonderful first half. From Legal John I. Dent Cup Grand Final for 2019. It's a big scrum here for Royals. Angus Allen pulls it out. Ryan Lonergan gets Lalesio back on his inside, but there's an accidental offside there, and that will do us for half-time, says Matthew Hogan. 18 points to 10 at half-time, Ryan.
That play is just, it's a story of the lack of options that Vikings seem to have, having to bring Noah Lalesio on hard lines infield when really you want him playing into space. You've got to figure something out in this second half, because right now Royals just look so organised and so tough to beat.
Great to be joined during the half-time break by Brumbies assistant coach Peter Hewitt. And Pete, you'd love what you're seeing down here now in this first half. It's been a cracking first half, hasn't it?
It has, hasn't it? Like pretty much the story of the half would be just the Symbian at the moment. Like,
yeah.
Obviously Vikings down by 8, but during that Symbian period it was that Royals scored 10 points. Obviously crucial now. I think the Royals are obviously attacking that 13 channel of the Vikings, so they probably need to stiffen that up and have a chat about that during the halftime break. But well, obviously the try Swain scored was through that 13 channel, and then obviously Andy goes down that channel to score that second try.
They've had a little bit of success, Royals, on that left edge, so I can't imagine they'll stop going there in a hurry.
If it's not broke, don't change it. So.
Indeed. Now, it's been a cracking season of ACT rugby, but we're only 2 weeks away from the start of the National Rugby Championship. You'll obviously have a hand in preparations for the Canberra Vikings. What can you tell us about a squad? I'm sure it's only a week or so away from being named, but no doubt it's full of promising young talent.
Yeah, really, it's going to be really exciting for us as obviously Brumbies coaches to watch that. You know, for myself, personally, obviously a lot of young, exciting backs that we're looking at. Obviously Christian's departure, so it opens up a spot there. We look at Noah, Bailey Quenzel, Tommy Wright in that position, Simone, so really exciting. And
worth touching on Bailey Quenzel because we haven't seen a lot of him. He's been playing his rugby up in with Southern Districts up in Sydney this year. So tell us about him. He's a different sort of a player to Noah Alessio in midfield.
Yeah, he's a bigger sort of 10-12.
Yeah.
He played 20s last year, Aussie 20s, played 12 there, or a little bit of 10 and 12. Look, he's a nice. He plays flat, square at the line. He's got a nice big kick on him. So it's going to be really exciting for us as coaches to see how those two potentially work together and work, in that 10 position.
Plenty of opportunities for young forwards as well. It feels like we've got back rowers growing on trees down here at the moment. You're not going to be short of them for the Brumbies next year again?
No, definitely not. And obviously depending on Wallaby's selection,
yeah.
He potentially could have Valetini, Samu, and those sort of players playing NRC, which is going to be really, really good for a young group having that experience around.
Yeah, it's going to be great to see. I think the Vikings have got 4 of their 7 games that are here at Viking Park, and including the last 3, I think, at home running into the finals. So it's going to be a great lead-in, hopefully.
Yeah, it will be. Tough start for them. They've got for their first, I think 3 of their first 4 games are away. So
that's right,
they need to start well and get combinations, which I suppose is going to be helpful for us because all of our guys have been training together. So hopefully they can get those combinations up early and sneak a few couple of away wins.
We did touch on Bledisloe 2 tonight. All of a sudden, it's just a different feel around rugby this week. It's great to have our tails up for a change, isn't it?
Well, rugby's actually been mentioned,
which is in a good way too.
Correct, which is good. You around town here, even down at the juniors, and everyone's talking about rugby again, as you say, and how good was the game last weekend. So, look, I'd imagine New Zealand will have a response for us tonight, but look, it's going to be really good to see how we react to that. I know the guys have kept their feet on the ground this week, so it'll be a really good test for us tonight. And going into the World Cup, look, if we can win, it'll change a few opinions in the world.
Yeah, it really could. It really could be anything. Look, Pete, great to talk to you. Thanks for coming up and joining us at halftime, and we'll no doubt be talking to you through the next 12 months or so of rugby, or however long it is. There is plenty going on still to go.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. Beautiful view up here too, by the way, lads. Thanks for having me.
It's fantastic. Peter Hewitt, the Brumbies assistant coach, joining us at halftime here in the Hard Superdry Grand Final. As you can see, both teams just stayed on the field. They haven't gone into the grandstand, enjoying their sunshine, no doubt. Royals into a nice, Tuggeranong, I beg your pardon, in a bigger huddle. There's a few voices out there in the middle of that. Nick Scrivener, just see the sun on the back of his red cap in the middle of that huddle. Royals on the northern end of Viking Park, they're a little bit tighter. Wayne Scrivener in the middle, Wayne Southwell, beg your pardon, there you can see in the middle of his Royals outfit. Both sides just getting their shape right. Wayne Southwell, he's really giving it, Ryan, to Royals there. That doesn't look like the face of a coach who's leading by 8 in the grand final.
Well, that's exactly what I think he's doing. I think it's brilliant from Wayne Southwell. Re-establishing standards, raising the bar, knowing his side is 8 points clear, but far from home. I absolutely love that from Wayne Southwell. He's really not taking anything less than perfect from his side.
Engaging his players directly. He's really sharing the message around this huddle there. Really urging his players to keep going. They've started so well in this grand final. Tuggeranong have split from their huddle. They're breaking back off. Certainly you don't see this sort of, it's not fire and brimstone, but we don't see this sort of animation from Nick Scrivener, and it's really interesting to see. There is Nick Scrivener on screen, the Vikings coach. He's calm, he's always measured at the best of times.
Well, I think it's an easy team talk for Nick Scrivener.
Yeah.
Insofar as he just needs to tell them to lift their energy and to hold on to the ball. There's plenty of guys out there that know exactly what they're doing. They did this last week. Expect a red hot start from Tuggeranong. But if Royals can just weather that storm, they have a massive chance. 8 points in a grand final when there's not the usual firepower out there for Vikings.
Yeah.
When you look down the list of guys who can break open this game, They're few and far between. It's going to have to be a systematic effort from Vikings. And the longer it gets into this game, and if Royals can open up an even bigger lead, the tougher that task becomes for Vikings to come back. Again, I'm struggling to see now whether someone who's going to bend the line. Angus Allen's got to get his hands on the ball more. Lachlan Lonergan's got to get his hands on the ball more.
They've been more defensive, the
Absolutely.
Vikings back row, haven't they?
Making Noel Alessio run those inside balls. So
underway again in the Griffin Legal John Dent Cup Grand Final. That's a good carry straight away from Darcy Swain, who's brought down just inside the 10-metre line, 4 in from touch. Ryan Lonergan goes wide to Isaac Thompson, who finds Alessio, throws a nice pass over the top to Revalval, but he's beaten over there by Bodman and Swain. 10 in from touch. Ryan Lonergan pulls this out. This is Takeda. He's chopped down there by Connell McInerney. Sione Mao had his hands on the ball there for a moment. Darcy Swain now. Thompson comes wide at the back to Lalesio. Gets a good ball away to Langtree. He pulled up in a bit of a hurry there, did Joey Langtree. Muirhead is back there to clean up the kick. He's brought down by Lalesio. Grzikowski is on this ball. Has he done enough? It's there at the back for Royals. McInerney peels off.
Brilliant for McInerney to be first back there as the hooker. Had to be as well with the pressure on the breakdown.
McMahon and Rolando are there for Royals, sorting out their ball carriers. This is Jack Farrell. Runs into Ryan Lonergan and Grzikowski. They've held him up here. Royals forwards have to get behind Rory Scott, and they can't force it. Good response there from the Vikings defence.
Excellent. Darcy Swain, Luke Grzikowski once again right in the middle of that. I've loved Royals' patience in the way they've built out from the back, but again, maybe one too many carries. Just need to clear their lines and get right back into their defensive work. Now this is a perfect attacking platform for Vikings.
Tuggeranong with a...
I think if someone's gonna be the one to change the point of attack here now, it's got to be Robinson. He's got to be the one that runs that hard line, and the likes of Langtree, so that Noel Alessio and Dean Wilson can work into some space.
Yeah, it's a good call. It's a good call. Tuggeranong with this scrum feed on the Royals 22. We're about 25 in from touch when Ryan Lonergan feeds, running to the southern end and straight into the face of what is a healthy Royals support base down here at the southern end. Ryan Lonergan feeds. Royal scrum is going forward. Ball's at the back for Angus Allen, but it's stagnant. Thompson pulls it out. Robinson wraps around the back, does Thompson. Ryan Lonergan eyeing off the short side. Darcy Swain with a good carry. Bumps off the tackle of Jason Swain. Ryan Lonergan finds Grzikowski with Wagner on his outside. This is Lalesio. Steps off his right.
Great tackle from Connell McInerney.
Yeah, Connell McInerney around his ankles. Angus Allen gets past the shoulder of Sione Mao. Darcy Swain. Great tackle there from Morrison.
Much better quick ball from Vikings.
7 short in centre field here. This is Andrew Robinson. He's 5 short to the right hand of the post. Thompson comes grandstand side. Bumps. Can't get away though in the end from Muirhead. Angus Allen now with Jason Swain around his ankles. Lonergan pulls this out in the shadows. Revalval's drifted in a little bit, but he can't get past the Royals defenders. Lachlan Lonergan brought down there by Farrell and Morrison in the end. They go open side. Langtree in there at first receiver. Andrew Robinson comes back towards the goal post, and they've got penalty advantage now, Tuggeranong. Stacking up the phases here are the Vikings. Sione Towler running at the left-hand upright. Ryan Lonergan changes directions. Thompson goes through, kicks the ball to the line. Pedro Rolando has it. Seth Gowan gets a kick away when it come back to that penalty advantage that Matthew Hogan was paying.
Andrew Robinson's in a world of hurt here, mate.
He doesn't look fit, does he?
He's been limping in his running, and now again a shoulder knock. He's having to really dig deep out there and taking a lot of the carrying responsibilities like we talked about.
He's just favouring that just behind the neck area.
Might have just got a little stinger.
Yeah.
keep an eye on him.
Tough as they come, Andrew Robinson. He won't want to come off this field.
Trainers just left him there alone, Andrew Robinson, in midfield. Of course,
and again, the options on the bench for Vikings so limited. They've lost so many numbers this year.
Could be such an important player too, Andrew Robinson. He has so much experience. He's played,
especially as this job gets harder.
Yeah, exactly. Premiership experience at Tuggeranong. He's had good NRC campaigns with the Canberra Vikings as well. So here, the Royal supporters starting to find their voice. Tuggeranong drop this ball down into a line-out drive. Lachlan Lonigan has it at the back. Ryan there behind him. It's just edging forward. This driving maul for Tuggeranong. How close are they? But look at the defence from Royals. Forces it backwards. They've peeled off though through Darcy Swain. Are they there, Tuggeranong? Matthew Hogan says, I'm not sure.
It's going to be very tough to tell.
And I think he's saying, no, held up, yeah. Got a really good shove on, did the Royals forwards, had that maul going backwards. We just saw off the tail end there. Darcy Swain broke off, was driving through another player. Whoever it was that Darcy Swain is driving into, he's just backed over the line, whoever it is, the ball carrier. Just couldn't twist around in the end. So the Tuggeranong bench are all smiles after that really promising set-piece raid. They'll have a 5-metre scrum instead, 10 in from touch. Southeastern corner of Viking Park. 7 minutes of the second half played here in the Hahn Superdry Grand Final. Royals still with their 18-10 half-time lead. Ryan Lonigan feeds. It's a good scrum from both sides. Thompson goes to Andrew Robinson on that short line, coming back inside. Can't get quick ball though now, Ryan Lonigan. It spills out the back for Royals, and it's a penalty to Tuggeranong instead.
Yeah, tackle was made there. Had to release.
So do they take the 3?
Look, I think, again, we've got a long way to go here.
Yeah.
And if you don't come away with something, it could be very demoralising. So I think you take a 3 here.
They've opted for the scrum.
Well, it's a statement of confidence. It's a statement of making sure you lay a massive marker down. But I just wonder, with 3 points have settled their nerves, got it to within 1 score.
They get back down here soon enough. There's no issues about that.
Exactly. So look, they've got to score now.
Yeah.
If you make that decision, you've got to score now.
And that's going to be the message, no doubt, would have gone out to the Royals trainers. Don't give them anything now. Don't let them get away with anything here.
Well, you're laying the challenge down, and again, it's all about the psychic energy. If Royals can hold them out here, again, a big confidence boost.
Absolutely. So Tuggeranong to feed. Ryan Lonigan has it, left-hand side of the uprights. Scrum's gone down though.
Vikings just got to be careful to hold their feet there. Good hit. You can easily give away a free kick. Royals savvy in that front row. Matthew Hogan having a word to both sides, telling Royals they have to take the hit.
Still left-hand side of the uprights. 5 out from the Royals line.
The first half was so flowing, it just went so quickly. Now you feel the nervous energy is just really building on both sides.
Yeah, you wouldn't quite say that either team needs to be the first one to score, but both definitely want to be, don't they? It's a good scrum, not going anywhere. Both sides holding it up.
Play now.
Ryan Lonigan switches directions through Thompson, Lalesio to the line, and Jason Swain around his ankles once again. Ryan Lonigan having to work hard to dig this ball out. He finds his brother in midfield. He bursts through. Lachlan Lonigan scores for Tuggeranong.
Huge moment. We said a couple had to step up. One of them was Lachlan Lonigan, and boy, has he done that. Picks a great line. Strong for the young man, and it's a brilliant finish. An important try in this game, and now with the conversion to come, a kickable conversion at that. Just a line from Lonigan. Takes the big shot from McInerney and Kaczewski and gets over the line.
Well, we talked about important conversions before. All of a sudden we could have a 1-point ball game. Now, great line from Lachlan Lonigan. You're right, just bumped off the tackle of Ryan Kotluski, the Royals tight head, and hasn't that all of a sudden put the silence on the Royals supporters at the southern end?
Absolutely, but just as this conversion's about to come in, it could be a massive loss.
Is that Angus Wagner?
Angus Wagner.
Too. Yeah.
I don't actually think it's his hand. I believe he's got some blood there.
Yeah, he's certainly holding a towel to his face.
So TJ Sione is going to come on.
Yep.
The Colt hasn't seen a lot of first grade action. He's going to have a massive shift to play here in the next couple of minutes.
What better occasion?
Absolutely. Brother of Falale Sione.
Yeah.
One of
right.
a very prominent Royals players.
Royals forward, of course, yeah. So Ryan Lonigan's conversion.
I'm expecting Wagner to return.
is good from Ryan Lonigan. Score 18 points to 17 in favour of Royals. And is this the first twist of the grand final, Ryan?
It's a twist, but because of how hard work it was, it doesn't feel like the massive sea change in this game. You still feel like Royals can say, right, we took that opportunity and now let's go and get our own score.
Bodman goes deep and is taken overhead without pressure by Darcy Swain. Comes forward for 5 metres. He's brought down 7 in from touch. Grandstand side, shadows starting to creep across Viking Park. This is his lock partner, Cooper Takeda. He's had a pretty strong ball carrying day today. The Vikings number 4. It's been turned over here for Royals, has it? Pedro Rolando. I think it's gone backwards. I think Tuggeranong have got that now.
He's definitely there to
It was definitely there for Pedro Rolando. This ball from Ryan Lonigan's gone straight up. Rolando takes it well in the face of Luke Guzikowski and Joe Langtree. Royals get over the top, counter ruck. McInerney goes wide to McMahon, who finds Rory Scott, who gets through. Rory Scott, he's still going, the Royals number 8. Ball spills out the back though, it's been ripped. Ryan Lonigan gets a kick downfield into vacant territory. Bounces sharply to the left-hand sideline.
Yeah, good bounce for Royals in the end.
It's bold Shane, that bounce.
Yeah, absolutely.
Turned at right angles, it did. So Tuggeranong with their tails up, down by 1 in the Hahn Superdry Grand Final. Line out throw just outside Royals 22 now.
Max Singh readying himself down below for Royals, and Angus Wagner coming back onto the field. A massive help for Wagner to come back on. He's running on here, but Cotton McInerney trying to get the ball in as soon as he can.
Yeah, TJ Sione has to come off just as he
actually
got himself back into the game.
It was a short shift, but he had a
stick.
big moment there, getting the ball back on his side.
Yeah. Who's Max Singh going to come on for, Ryan? For Royals.
I just wonder.
Question, isn't it?
Will Morrison's running well, but of course, as you see the crooked throw come in. We talk about big moments. Could be one now.
Is it, I wonder? Is it, I wonder? Lachlan Lonigan's line-out throw pulled up, and so now Royals with a scrum feed on their 22. Max Singh in 19.
Yeah, it's Will Morrison.
It is Will Morrison coming off.
Well, Morrison did very well to just be in this game and to put in the shift he did. It's brave from him. He would have been hurting, as you see. He's clearly hurting from what was a really good display from him. But Max Singh, an extra bolt of energy for Royals.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
How important is it getting the 30-second difference of getting Wagner back on for this scrum? Not TJ Sione facing a Royals pack bang for blood, but Wagner coming back on to solidify that area. It's massive.
What this does do now for Royals, though, is that Morrison would have been the lock coverage if Von Blankensee or Cowan go down. 2 back rowers on the bench for Royals, and Max Singh and Alex Varas.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're looking across the line now. It's Rory Scott really is the only one.
Yeah, it would force Rory Scott into the second row.
And
so
line-out time becomes, a lottery really.
Yeah, that's it. So
definitely, it's a good point because We saw Swain a couple of times late on last week have real impacts, particularly at line-out time and in the high ball, so something to keep an eye on.
Lachlan Lonergan feeds. Scrum goes down. Ball's there, though. Revalval comes in from the left wing, does get through the first tackle of McMahon, brought down in centre field. Lachlan Lonergan comes open side. Andrew Robinson on the short pass there from Isaac Thompson. And a penalty for Royals.
Rory Scott.
Yeah. Great work from the young number 8.
Just made himself a nuisance.
Just picked his moment beautifully. We might get another look at that in just a second. He did that so well, the young number 8. And Royals again, they just manage their way out of their own half, don't they?
They're just not having to deal with the normal firepower of Vikings. Again, but they're making their tackles.
Johnson, this is going to us. Jono.
Terrifying.
I tell you, we're seeing ducks up here. Rory Scott got straight over that ball, and Matt Hogan had no chance. Look how quick Rory Scott gets in over the top of this from Andrew Robinson. So good there, the young
strong,
number 8.
powerful base as well.
Great work.
Sione Maul off the park for Joel Penders.
Taken well at the top there by Von Blankety. Johnson's getting into this game more. Jamie Bodman backs in to the centre field defence for the Vikings. McMahon goes to the line with Joel Penders, and it's good runs, good metres, I beg your pardon, for the replacement tight head prop. This is Andy Muirhead. Who can he find in support? Hasn't got it away as yet. Rolando with quick ball now. McMahon pulls in a wild pass. Bodman comes wide to Rory Scott. Steps off his left. Gets back on the inside of Grzikowski. Rolando is there. McMahon on the short side. Good short ball for Singh. Bodman loses it in contact. That's touched Matt Singh in an accidental offside position. We'll come back for that knock on. So Joel Penders is on for Sione Mau, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's had a couple of good involvements already, Penders, but Andy Muirhead, he just, again, if you're Vikings, he's just got to keep such an eye on him, because when he pops up, he's not constantly in this game, but when he injects himself, he's making massive meters.
Equally, though, Seth going on that right-hand edge has been guilty a few times of just not quite being there when Andy Muirhead's looking to get that ball away.
Yeah, possibly overrunning him as well.
Yeah. So Royals with a reasonable back line set. Lachlan Lonergan has this ball. He'll feed just outside his 22.
Doesn't it feel like it's going to come down to a penalty? Lonergan, Rolando, penalty goals. It kind of has that little feeling.
It really does. Yeah. A shootout from here wouldn't surprise me at all. Would not surprise me. Royals tried to get that big shove on. Scrum goes down, and Scrum is penalised.
Absolutely. Easy decision there. Both Penders and Paczewski just losing their binds straight to deck. Joel Penders, of course, having to cover loose head, more naturally a tight head. He did a great job 2 weeks ago, but that was an easy decision. I think it was Brody Ingram on this side.
That's it.
Talking to Matthew Hogan, and an easy exit for Vikings.
Ryan Lonergan won't be aiming for us, at least. It's a good touch finder. Well, it hasn't found as much ground as I thought it might have. It's only found touch just in front of us here in the Viking Park grandstand. Brother Lachlan will throw in just on his side of halfway.
Raw's body language when they're in defence is brilliant. All eager to get into position.
The communication too has been really strong. And I guess that's the benefit of Unchanged combination throughout. Taken at the back there by Pedro. Rolando gets a chip through. Thompson has to get back there to clean up. Oh, Rolando was there first. And in the end, Thompson is bundled into touch by Rory Scott. Rolando.
Again, he was first to react, catches brilliantly and gets the kick away. But it's because of his urgency to be in position and straight through.
The kick chase. Ryan Lonergan had to change directions and actually run a bit of a screen for Isaac Thompson. And that was because Rory Scott was closing in on a rate of knots. Good desperation in the end from the Vikings, 9 and 10. McInerney throws in, it's taken well by Von Blankensee. Line out drive, can't get going forward. McInerney has it at the back. Rolando pulls out, finds Johnson. Runs into Grzikowski and Thompson. Rolando having to dig, and he has to dig because Tuggeranong have won the turnover penalty.
Angus
and it's
Allen.
Angus Allen, yeah.
Absolutely. A great option for Vikings at number 8 for Angus Allen, because he just gives them another on-ball pressure provider there.
Yeah.
Natural 7. It's a big turnover because he just felt there after taking their best shot, Royals. If they could have added 7 there, it would have been huge.
It's a good kick from Ryan Lonergan.
Good exit from Vikes.
Although again, hasn't perhaps peeled off quite as much territory as he might have hoped. Line out throw for Lachlan will be just inside the 10-metre line. But talking about the body language, Royals are there and ready.
Again, they're eager for it.
Yeah. Contest at the back. Ryan Lonergan goes to Guzikowski in midfield. Good run from the young number 7, but brought down equally well by McInerney. Ryan Lonergan snipes to the Vikings club side here in Erindale. Wagner picks up at the back. Brought down in centre field, just inside the Royals half. Royals appealing for turnover ball here, but they've got it, the Blue Bags. Rolando pulls this out. Bodman goes wide to Jason Swain. Already has a try to his name, the Royals outside centre. Ball spills out for Rolando. McMahon goes wide here through McInerney, who finds Mew ahead, who's brought down beautifully by Guzikowski.
Geez, that was an important tackle.
It really was. Really was. Rolando now from Blankensy from a standing start just pushes off Jamie Field. Rolando just dictating again. Penders finds another metre or two after contact. Rolando finds McInerney. Gets past Sione Tala. It's good for another couple of metres after the contact zone. McMahon comes wide. Short ball to Seth Going, but Going went the other way. McMahon and Darcy Swain having a little bit of a contact too on the bottom. Rolando goes wide to Swain. Bodman finds Rory Scott in that familiar 15-metre channel that he loves, Rory Scott. Just short of halfway now for Rolando. Von Blankensy goes out the wide. McMahon, really good read from Darcy Swain. Forces McMahon back infield. Ball spills out loose for Ryan Lonergan. Gets a kick in over the top. Max Revalval for the corner for Tuggeranong. Scores a try in the grand final.
What a score. Is that the moment where the champions start to rise?
Is that?
It was the talisman Darcy Swain. The beautiful read forced the turnover. The kick was brilliant. And the chase even better. Revalval, what a finish.
Tuggeranong. Look at this little kick from Ryan Lonergan.
It's
into
perfect
space. Yeah, and Max Revalval just had to beat Jason Swain. Seth Going had too much ground to make up. And Max Revalval, there aren't too many quicker on the field. Maika Revalval with a wonderful try to give Tuggeranong the lead in the Hard Superdry Grand Final.
It was just the presence of mind, Lonergan. He knew exactly where the space was. On the wrong side as well. The execution of his left foot, inch perfect for Revalval. Darcy Swain, the read to force that turnover.
Yeah.
Huge.
So
It's not game over by a long shot.
Certainly not. 18 minutes to play. Ryan Lonergan's brought this conversion back a long way. He's going to take it from about a metre inside the touch line on the far side of Viking Park, but he's had to go back, Ryan, the best part of 25 metres.
Billy Carberry readying himself to enter the field as well. Brett.
Darcy Swain looks like he's coming off. Is he? Or is he just talking to...
I think he might just be having a chat
just
to...
having a conversation, to Gareth Clausen there, forwards coach for Tuggeranong.
Angus Allen's coming off the park. Tom Matago's going to come onto the park as well.
Right. Changes for Tuggeranong. We'll get to those in just a moment. This is a big kick for Ryan Lonergan. We're kicking at the best part of 40 metres on the angle. Lonergan hits it well, hits it flat, and puts the flags up. And now the Tuggeranong supporters on the far side are finding their voice.
6 points clear now. That change comes. Andrew Robertson just couldn't give any more, but Billy Carberry coming onto the field. Hasn't seen a lot of first grade action the last couple of weeks, but a talented young player. And he'll give absolutely everything there in the centres. And Tom Wattago, well, talk about an option off the bench. Plenty of ball carrying, plenty of defence.
Plenty of tries.
Big reinforcements for the Vikings.
Great work there by Max Singh. Gets the ball back to McMahon, who finds Bodman, who finds Rory Scott, who's brought down just short of the 22. 7 in from touch. Joel Penders now for Royals. Looking to put the Blue Baggers back on attack. McMahon, short ball for Muirhead. We've seen that a little bit of late. Rolando goes wide over the top to Bodman, who goes to the line. Can't get a ball out to Rory Scott outside him. Rolando has this. Comes wide to McMahon. He's got Muirhead on his inside. Muirhead now still going here. Is the Royals fullback. Brought down 18 out from the Tuggeranong line. Rolando comes open side. McMahon finds Singh. Singh finds McMahon. And McMahon gets an offload away to Rory Scott. Good defence though by Tom Wattago. Just drives Rory Scott back to the 22. Royals will reset. McInerney finds Max Singh, who's brought down on the Tuggeranong 22. We're going to come back to the penalty advantage that Matt Hogan was playing.
I think with 15 to play now, you go corner if you're Royals.
Yeah, well, 3 points isn't a lot of good at the moment. Although they're not going to have any opportunity. They're not going to have any problem getting back up here. Ben
Johnson marched straight across, knew exactly what the option was, and he goes
to drive the corner here. Ben Johnson, and it's a good kick. Look at that. Really good kick.
Wattago and Carberry have given Vikings an extra bit of a lift here, particularly in defence.
The assistant referee's got a grin on his face there. He was actually well infield. He was heading for the posts and got caught out by Ben Johnson kicking for the corner.
It was a perfect kick from Johnson as well.
I was actually about to say this is an interesting way that the assistant referee is looking for where that went touch, because he was running back with the flight of the ball, and that's why he was caught out.
Back your referee, I suppose.
Yeah.
Another Royal substitute rating themselves there. I think that's Alex Verras down below.
Right. Yep, I think you're right. I wonder who that might be.
Jack Farrell.
Yeah, could be right.
A little bit unsure of his role.
McInerney throws well to Cowan. They get this line-out drive going.
Set's good. Set's
Edging
really good.
Way forward. McInerney, has he got it at the back? It's still going. Royals peel off. Is it still going? Rolando has to pull it out. They've got penalty advantage here now, Royals. And Hogan blows
Swain could go to the bin here. He's straight into the side.
Yeah, Matt Hogan calls an instant timeout. He's asking Isaac Thompson here. A few too many penalties in the defensive 22 would be the message. Darcy Swain pleading his case. Matt Hogan would be saying, we've got 15 minutes to play, guys. Let's not start heading down the cynical route.
Well, it's their first in this zone, but gee, I think he's lucky there.
Yeah.
It was looked to be a dead-on try. When he entered the side there, Darcy Swain's got away with one.
There's pictures there at the northern end of Viking Park. So the families spread out there on the hill in front of the scoreboard. G'day, mate. Another attacking opportunity here for Royals. McInerney to throw in.
Swain was half a metre away from taking that line out too when he had his chance.
Royals staying with the 6-man option. They go to Cowan at the back. It's much better set this time. McInerney has this for Royals. Brought down, though, by the Vikings. Ball's there. McInerney has this now. Goes pick and drive here. Rolando organising his runners again. Comes wide to McMahon. Bodman can't get a ball away to Muirhead. Rolando resetting his runners. Joel Penders is there. Takes this run. He's just lifted over the first point of contact, not in a dangerous way. Rolando eyeing off runners back on the open side. It's the Von Blankensee. Stopped in his tracks by Towler and Cooper Takeda. They go through the short side. through Kotluski. Orlando again finds McInerney, gets away from Sione Taylor. Darcy Swain's all over him though. Orlando finds McMahon, short ball from Muirhead. Tuggeranong read it well though.
If Scott wasn't there, that could have been 7 the other way.
Scott had to clean up. Bodman goes wide. Can't find Swain on his inside. Just building the phases up here again, Royals. Penders with a big run. Quicker ball now. McMahon has it. Goes short. Doesn't go to anyone. Does get an offload away. Muirhead does well to clean up off his ankles. Muirhead finds another metre or two in contact. Rolando pleading. Goes short to Seth Going, who gets an offload away. McMahon for the line. Gets an offload, but Tuggeranong have this through Joey Langtree, I'm sure.
Brilliant defence.
Just needed to hold on to that. Did Craig McMahon. And so Ryan Lonergan gets a kick away from his own goal line.
And that is a cracker from Ryan Lonergan.
Yeah, really good response out of sheer desperation for Tuggeranong.
Well, there was an extra pass there, and maybe just shouldn't have gone for McMahon, but the defence from Vikings is brilliant.
Yeah, you just get the feeling it had... They just could have set up a proper ruck rather than going that ball off the ground.
Slightly impatient.
Cooper Takeda there just getting some attention just back on the 22. We've got time out here now. It's been a wonderful, wonderful game. Hans Superdry Grand Final. And we thank Hans Superdry and all of our competition sponsors in 2019, particularly Griffin Legal, the John Dent Cup naming rights sponsor, been wonderful supporters of ACT Rugby this year and for the last several. We thank Rourke Projects, True Fit and Hill, PTP, McDonald's ACT, O'Neill's and Poplars. We're watching the Hans Superdry Griffin Legal John Dent Cup Grand Final on Brumbies Rugby's live streaming partner Bar TV Sports. Brett McKay and Ryan Murphy with you. It's Tuggeranong leading Royals 24 points to 18. We've got just over 11 minutes to play in this second half as both teams just get themselves reset for what is going to be a proper grandstand finish to the Hans Superdry Grand Final. It's been an enthralling game so far, and even with 11 minutes 20 on the clock, this game's not done yet, Ryan.
Absolutely not.
Taken well at the back, Royals. Max Singh has this in a little bit of space, picking up the ball on the bounce. This Singh. McMahon goes wide. Bodman, his runners inside and out. Swain with a good tackle over the top there. From one of the Tuggeranong defenders, that was Tom Wattigo, I think it was. McInerney goes himself, does an offload, does this time now to Von Blankensee. Rolando getting quicker ball. Kotluski with Max Singh behind him. Gets inside the 22. Bodman now steps off his left when he had some supporters on his outside. Rolando is cleaned out past the point of the ball there by Langtree. We've got penalty advantage for Royals.
Free play, they've got to shift this right now.
What quick hands. Rolando goes to McInerney, who finds Penders. McMahon just getting his back set. They go that way. Bodman has this now. He doesn't go to Muirhead. Bodman brought down by Wattigo. 20 in from touch, far side of Viking Park. 18 out from the Tuggeranong Vikings line. Heavy tackle there. Lachlan Lonergan on Hugh Cowan. We've got new penalty advantage here now. Penders for Royals. McMahon goes over the top to Muirhead. Really good ball. Had Bodman on his outside, did Muirhead. Blankensee now on the inside. Rolando finds Jason Swain, who will score his second try for the grand final. And that's an important response from Royals.
What a line. He just timed it perfectly. Swain drifted onto the ball as the long looping pass came. Found a seam in midfield. What a try for Royals. Conversion to come, 10 to play. Absolutely game on.
Really good ball. We'll get a great shot of this. Pass from Rolando just put Jason Swain into space he didn't think was there.
No, he just timed his address to the ball. He stepped into the space before the ball even reached him. Ran the opposite of that drift line.
That's why he's such a dangerous prospect in the outside centre channels. Jason Swain, he's had a great year. He's had a very good year. Lenny Kitau was named the outside centre in the team of the year, but I can't imagine Jason Swain was far behind. As Rolando's conversion is good and Royals retake the lead in the Griffin Legal John I. Dent Cup Grand Final.
Can Vikings respond now?
25 points to 24. We've got just over 8 minutes of play. Thompson has the ball in centre field. Shadows getting longer here at Viking Park. Both sets of supporters finding their voice, urging their team home. Is it the red and whites or is it the blue and whites? Seth Going gets away from Ravalval from the restart. Ball's there for Rolando now. Finds Johnson, who just gets ball onto foot. Doesn't go into touch on the full, but does on the bounce in front of Dean Wilson. Seven and a half to go, Ryan. How many more twists have we got?
I think we've got one more, minimum. Now, whether that's Royals bringing it home with a try, Vikings coming back, but
it's got a real next score wins feel about it.
Absolutely. The energy from Vikings definitely lifted after conceding that try.
Lonigan throws into the back, but Royals spoil at the back. They come wide straight away through Bodman. Swain has Muirhead on his outside. Muirhead eyeing off a bit of space. Desperate tackle there from Lalesio, brings him down. Max Singh now with a good carry, gets a few metres past contact. 15 in front touch. Rolando goes short side, kicks ahead for Muirhead. It's a foot race. Muirhead picks up. Muirhead scores for Royals. Hogan hasn't awarded it yet.
From our angle here, it looks good. It's a try.
Try for Royals to Andy Muirhead. And look at the Royals players going straight to their bench. The northern end of Viking Park. Look at this, Rolando just eyed up a little bit of space, got a kick off his left foot, and it's Muirhead in front of Ryan Lonigan. A great put down in the corner.
Absolutely. Not an easy finish from Muirhead. Gathered his feet well and managed the finish. Yeah, that's Billy Carberry in
we've got a Tuggeranong player. We've got time out here. We've got a Tuggeranong player down just in front of us. We just
Billy Carberry now. It's Billy Carberry down just below us here. The replacement centre. Just wonder when that happened. Did that happen off the ball?
I'm not sure when that happened. There was a Tuggeranong player had the ball and was making their way back towards the 22 for a restart if need be, but I'm not sure when or how that has happened. But certainly the Tuggeranong trainers have got straight to him, and a couple of the Royals trainers too, to be fair. So we do have time off with just over 6 minutes to play.
Seamus Smith is going to come onto the field, so Vikings having to do it tough here with Lonigan probably going to have to maybe shift to 10.
Yeah.
Isaac Thompson perhaps going to 12.
See just holding the neck area there of Billy Carberry, just making sure he's okay. Plenty of caution being shown.
He's a very good friend of mine, Billy Carberry. Actually drove him down to Viking Park today. Very concerned to see him with the stretcher out, but you know, precaution becomes the most important thing
Yeah, exactly.
with these types of injuries. So
The Royal supporters at Southern End.
from purely the game's perspective, with Rolando to kick this conversion, if he kicks it, it's a long way back. But
Yeah.
with the energy
it's-
that Royals had generated with that try, it's all gone now.
And if he kicks it, it's 8 points.
That's what I'm saying. If he
Yeah.
kicks it, it's nearly game over.
Yeah.
But even with that, the way Royals were hyped up after that try, would have been very tough for Vikings even now. The McDougall medalist eyeing off a conversion.
Well, his conversion it's going to be from a very, very similar place to where it was. He had kicked the ball from the qualifying final from a very,
Yeah,
very
absolutely.
similar spot for the win, effectively. Put them into the grand final. So Pedro Rolando with a kick from a very similar spot. Could he deliver Royals their 3rd premiership in 5 seasons and over their closest and most feared rival?
Absolutely.
Viking supporters on the eastern side here showing plenty of concern. Nick Scrivener has gone from the coach's box up here above us, beside us, I beg your pardon. He's gone down to ground level. And there's paramedic there as well. So we're just trying to establish what's happening here. Looks like we're going to perhaps make use of a medicab. Although the medicab's just driven away. Looks like things are actually being packed up, Ryan, which is perhaps a good sign. See, the lights are on here at Viking Park. Have been on since half time, but we've still got plenty of blue sky above us. Certainly no chances of rain or snow today, which we definitely weren't sure about this time last week. In fact, this time last week, Ryan, we had at least 2 more layers on each. It was significantly cooler, wasn't it?
100%.
So Royals 30, leading Tuggeranong 24 in the Hahn Superdry Grand Final. We've got a break in play currently with Tuggeranong replacement player Billy Carberry just receiving some attention just inside the field of play here at the northern end of Viking Park. Just finishing up the last of their checks
The
now.
stretcher went away, but I wonder
Stretcher went away.
is that for the ambulance to come?
Yeah, so Nick Scrivener is now down with his player.
Vikings desperately trying to get a ball onto the field.
Tuggeranong coach there down showing plenty of concern for his young player. Scrivener just double checking as well.
Ben Johnson getting an impromptu massage session here.
He is too in the background there. So just bringing some blankets down now for Billy Carberry. So that does suggest, Ryan, that we might be here for a little while. So we might have a significant break in play here in the Hahn Superdry Grand Final. Just over 6 minutes to play. But both sides now just going through their warm-ups. Tuggeranong at the northern end, just going through a few of their drills. Royals at the south, just coming into picture there now. That's Ben Johnson on the ground there, just getting a bit of a rub down. We have got an ambulance coming on to the arena now. It's Tuggeranong going through their paces just in the background. So plenty of concern, plenty of precaution being shown here for Billy Carberry, young Tuggeranong player. He's moving. I've just seen him moving his arms though, Ryan, so
yeah, that's good.
That's a good sign. He's still got his neck just Both sides will be doing their best to keep warm. And this wasn't quite what I had in mind, Ryan, when I said, have we got one more twist left in this game?
Seriously. Yeah. Absolutely.
Has been an absolutely enthralling, absolutely gripping grand final.
We'll have 6 more minutes to play once Billy's made sure that he's okay.
Yeah,
but yeah, certainly taking the, I would say, is taking the importance of rugby.
Well, rugby takes a back step now. Obviously, concern first and foremost now is for Billy Carberry. As you can see, paramedics and the ambulance there. Certainly, the last 6 minutes aren't quite as important as they
myself
were
and
a little while ago.
Billy make coffee together Monday to Friday.
Right, yeah, of course.
He'd been absolutely itching to be involved in this game today.
So we might, while this break in play is underway and still going on, Ryan, we might bring into the conversation Canberra Times journalist Caden Helmers, who's joined us up on the commentary deck. And I bring you into the conversation, Caden, because between the three of us, we've got to, sometime over the next 6 minutes of play, come up with the man of the match. And I don't know about you, but I don't know where to start on this conversation. What have you seen so far?
I came up here hoping you did.
Sorry, mate. Sorry, I've been a bit busy, I have to admit.
Yeah, I've come up here with, there's so many different names that spring to mind at different stages throughout this game, and depending on which side gets up, I suppose has a massive bearing on it, because we've seen Swain scored twice, Muirhead's been pretty brilliant at times, Lonergan's been fantastic for Vikings.
Yeah.
It's a pretty tough one to pick today.
Well, and then you can throw in the likes of Darcy Swain, Luke Grzikowski for Tuggeranong as well, who've done a great job. Jamie Bodman's been really, really important for Royals as well. So I'm sure when the powers that be decided to give us the job, they thought, well, that's one less thing that we need to do. They've just washed their hands of this. So
can we pass it back?
I don't know. It's a good question that you ask. So it's going to be a difficult job, no doubt. How have you seen the grand final? It's been everything we hoped it would be so far.
Everything and more so far. I think there's been times when you think, yep, this team is getting on top and they're going to be very hard to stop if they score next, but lo and behold, they're never the one to score next. It's always, we've just seen it now, Royals scoring twice within a couple of minutes to force their way back into the contest. So still 6 minutes remaining and it's up in the air.
Yeah, and as Billy Carberry is now on the gantry and he's just being loaded into the ambulance. So that's a good sign. We will be back underway very shortly. You can see the Royals players just showing their concern. Likewise, the grandstand underneath us downstairs. And so, Caden, it's going to be, we will bring you back into the conversation in the closing minutes, but you've been no help to us at all. I have to admit.
My apologies.
We brought you into the conversation with good intentions and it hasn't quite worked out quite as well. So you've got the job to bring us back some names in a few minutes' time, and we'll see if we can work out who is the grand final man of the match.
Two-horse race for mine.
What is... Caden and I have had nothing just while you've been checking up on Billy Carberry there. What have you got?
Surely on Billy Carberry or the man of the match?
No, on the man of the match, sorry. Well, both, actually, but...
I think Billy's moving, which is obviously sign number one.
Yeah.
But, yeah. For mine, it's Andy Muirhead or Jason Swain for me.
Yeah.
It's one of those two. I think...
Which in Caden's defence, that they were two of the three names that he mentioned first. So, we're getting closer, I think. So we'll come back to Caden.
Well, back to the rugby. This could be a kick to win the Little John O'Dent Cup.
Could absolutely be.
Ultimately, what we care about is that Billy Carberry is safe, but history's being made right in front of our eyes here.
So Rolando has this conversion lined up. He's taken it back, about 25 out from the line, as you can see there. Less than a metre in from touch. 30 points to 24. Royals lead Tuggeranong in the Hahn Superdry Grand Final. Rolando to put the lead out to 8. Could this be the moment for Royals? Get a great shot on it here now. Rolando moves in, hits it well, hits it dead straight. Pedro Rolando for Royals.
Oh, he allowed himself just a little fist bump there to Pedro Rolando, the McDougall medalist, stepping up, his magical right boot, sending Royals to what surely now.
Is that it?
Is that it?
He won't mind me saying it now that he's just made his way downstairs, but Wayne Southwell, the Royals coach, rode that kick every inch from Pedro Rolando's tee to the flags going up. Royals up by 8 with 5.5 to play. Bodman has it now, and Royals will look to try and close out the Hahn Superdry Grand Final. Have they just put themselves clear for their 3rd premiership in 5 seasons, Royals? Rolando has it. McMahon has been instrumental today. So has Bodman. Muirhead finds Johnson on the far side, who's brought down just inside the Tuggeranong half. Royals still want to play in this game. Less than 5 to go now, but it's a penalty to Tuggeranong.
I was going to say, they can't shut up shop. Got to be very careful here, Royals. Quick score from Vikings. Still time on the clock. Enough time anyway.
Ryan Lonigan needs to get this ball as deep as he can. His touch finder hasn't found touch, and it's gone dead at the southern end, has it?
I think it's going to be judged to
No,
have
it
just
hasn't.
slipped.
Yeah.
We're
Flag
talking
is up there on
inches.
the far side. I saw Jason Swain watching it, and I just thought the way Swain reacted was that it hadn't gone in. So now the Royal supporters there, you can see them on screen, urging their team to defend this last 4 minutes. Swain has this ball for Tuggeranong, and it's straight down into their line-out drive. Royals have got to defend it well so far. It peels off through Lachlan Lonigan. Just edging forward slightly, this Vikings maul. Ryan Lonigan gets the use it once warning. Still going forward here for the Vikings. It's awfully close for Tuggeranong. Ball is in the middle of that ball. It's brought down a metre short. It's there at the back though now for Ryan Lonigan. Is it there for Royal? For
Try!
Tuggeranong have scored!
It's that
Tuggeranong
man.
have scored!
It's that man. It's Tommy Watego. Oh, you said it, Brett. He brings physicality, he brings defense, and he brings tries. Ryan Lonigan trying to warm himself up to take this kick. Darcy Swain.
Albert Watego in the middle of that maul, peeled off the side. Little pick and drive. And he got there somehow. 32 points to 29. 3 minutes left on the clock. Ryan Lonigan hasn't had a more important kick in 2019. 10 in from touch, 25 back from the Royals line. Into the face of the Royals supporters who you can hear. The charge is on. Ryan Lonigan hits it.
He's kicked
Ryan
it.
Lonigan has nailed it.
1 point game, 2.5 to play.
1 point. 1 point. Can you believe it? 32 points to 31 in favour of Royals over Tuggeranong. We've got just over 2 minutes in the Hahn Superdry Grand Final to play. Bodman gets us underway again. And there's a little bit of confusion there from Dean Wilson and Cooper Takeda to take the restart. But Wilson has that at the bottom of the ruck. Lonigan finds his brother Lachlan on the outside edges. He's about 20 in from touch, 30 out from his own line. This is Takeda again. They've got to get back down the other end of the field somehow now, the Vikings. Darcy Swain has been really good for the Red and Whites today. Thompson now finds Wilson, who's brought down by Rolando. Sione Tala.
They've got a finish moment in them.
Ryan Lonigan gets a short ball to Joey Langtry, but it's gone forward. It was a great line from Joey Langtry, and he can't believe it's been pulled up by Matt Hogan.
Well, I'd love to see it again if we can.
And here it is. We'll get a really good line at it. Ryan Lonigan went to the ball. Oh, it's flat. It's flat.
Oh, it's never forward.
Yeah,
it's absolutely never forward.
That's why Joe Langtry reacted like that. He timed his run so well, but in fairness, Matt Hogan was in a good position for it.
It slowed down. We've got the benefit of hindsight, but look, it's not even flat to me. That's slightly backwards.
Yeah, looked all right.
Langtry was gone.
He was through.
Seth Going was there to chase, but he was out on flat foot.
He was having to turn around.
Oh, you can you can still see.
Yeah, Joe Langtry just out of shot.
Ryan Lonigan, it was perfect from him.
Could have been the moment. Rolando feeds, 22 seconds on the clock. Ball goes down. We're going to have another reset. And this is just playing into the Royals' hands. Rolando there just on the edge of the shot. You might have noticed it. Just said to Craig McMahon, we'll just get it out. Just get this ball out.
Tell you what,
Royal supporters starting to find their voice at the southern end.
Ready for an invasion here.
Yeah.
Brett.
Full-time siren goes below us.
One scrum.
The Royal supporters.
Look at them on their feet.
The blue and whites. Will they get this one home? Well, 1 point. Can Tuggeranong, with the last play of the game, deliver us a thrilling final twist in the Griffin Legal John I. Dent Cup season for 2019. Rolando feeds this ball just inside the Tuggeranong half. Lonigan goes Zakowski under for Tuggeranong, puts a kick ahead for Langtry. McMahon willing himself there. Langtry goes to the touch, and that's it for Royals. Royals have won the Griffin Legal John I. Dent Cup Grand Final for 2019. There's absolute scenes here at Viking Park, and here come the supporters.
Incredible. What a way for it to finish. They got the turnover somehow. They got the turnover. The kick from Grzikowski, it was an all or nothing play.
And the Tuggeranong players back in midfield. They can't believe it. As the Royal supporters just mobbed their team. A couple of the young players going to see Oni Towler in midfield. And it's heartbreak for the Vikings. Ryan Lonigan monstered Pedro Rolando there from that last scrum. Grzikowski was all over that loose ball, and they just got it downfield. Langtry beats Craig McMahon to the chase, and the veteran fly half bundles the young winger into touch. Royals 32 have beaten Tuggeranong 31 in the Hart Superdry Grand Final, Ryan. And we've got to try and come up with a grand final. Man of the match.
Look, it seems so easy when Swain went in for his try there, but Muirhead's try was so important in the end. Look, I don't know, it's tough to say. I think for what he's meant over these last few months in these two games, I think Jason Swain is my man of the match anyway, Brett.
Yeah, I can't argue that. Caden's giving me the nod. So Jason Swain is the man of the match for the Hart Superdry Grand Final. So we'll head downfield with Ryan as soon as we can. So Jason Swain is the man of the match in the Hart Superdry Grand Final. Royals, the celebrations are well and truly underway. They are the 2019 Griffin Legal John I. Dent Cup premiers. And there is the man of the match, Jason Swain, celebrating with his family there in the background. His daughter he's looking at, a two-try hero in Royals' third premiership in 5 seasons. Absolute scenes here among the Royals faithful. As Tuggeranong form into their huddle in midfield, and no doubt Nick Scrivener will be telling his team how proud he is of their season, how well they have played this year, and how well they've played today. It's been a grand final full of twists, full of turns, full of switches and switchbacks as well. You can see the Royal supporters off to the left, the Tuggeranong huddle there in centre field. And there's plenty of voices there amongst the Vikings. They're just breaking up there now. 32 points to 31 is the final score in the Hahn Superdry Grand Final. Royals led 18 points to 10 at half-time, but after the break, it was all the Vikings there, with Lachlan Lonergan scoring in the 49th minute, Max Rivalval with an important try in the 62nd minute. They were both converted, and at that point, with less than 20 to play, Tuggeranong led 24 points to 18, but it was the man of the match, Jason Swain, with the important hit back. Only a few minutes later, Pedro Rolando's conversion was good. That gave Royals the lead. Andy Muirhead scores an important try in the corner, which Rolando converted. And at 32 points to 24 inside the last few minutes, we thought that was it done. But the Vikings, as they've done all season, hit back with a late try to Tom Wattigo with a minute to play. Ryan Lonergan converted, of course. 32 points to 31, the final score here at Viking Park, as the Tuggeranong side go to the eastern side of Viking Park here. Thank their supporters who have been there in numbers and in voice today. And the Royal celebrations, they continue thick and fast there. They haven't moved from where they started. Absolutely incredible scenes here at Viking Park. And we'll head down to Ryan Murphy as soon as we can. Absolutely incredible game, the Hahn Superdry Grand Final. Royals, the Griffin League or John I. Dent Cup premiers for 2019. Absolutely incredible Grand Final. We hoped, arriving at the ground today, that we'd get a game worthy of a decider, and we got it, every bit of it. There wasn't much between the sides coming into the game. There wasn't much between the sides at half-time, and even at full-time, there's still not much between the sides. Absolutely incredible. It's been a wonderful grand final. Jason Swain is the grand final man of the match, and our thanks to Caden Helmers from the Canberra Times for joining Ryan and I up here late in the game to decide that. Supporters streaming onto the field from both ends. The kids are already out having a kick on Viking Park. And we'll get underway with the presentations very, very soon, no doubt. It's going to be a hell of a party for Royals tonight. As I mentioned, their third premiership in the last 5 seasons. Tuggeranong and Royals have met 9 times in grand finals, and Royals get one back on the ledger. So Ryan Murphy down on ground level, and he has with him the grand final man of the match, Jason Swain.
Thanks, Brett. Here with Jason Swain, man of the match in the Griffin Legal John O'Dent Cup final, mate. How does that sound?
It sounds a bit ridiculous. You know, you just come out here and do it for the boys. It's not for the glory. It's just you do it for everyone.
Just attack that 13 channel all day long. 2 tries, mate. Talk us through them. The first one just found a bit of space off Bubman.
Well, we knew they were short in the back line, so we're just waiting to see. You just run hard lines and see what the players decide to do. And if you run that short line, someone's got to get open.
Third premiership in 3 years, mate. How does this one compare? I mean, not a team of superstars, a real team effort out there, 1 to 15. Must be Does it feel different? Is this the sweetest one yet?
It's definitely up there. I actually retired last year, and Southey decided to sort of twist my arm, get me back in the game. And I told him before the thing I wouldn't do it for anyone else, because it's just the feeling around the club and behind what he puts into the club. It's just you can't match it.
Talk to us. Why is he such an inspirational figure, Wayne Southwell?
Actually cares about the people, you know. He does the research behind it all, gets the plays, makes sure we know what we're doing, but on the other side, he actually cares about you. He listens to you, and he makes sure, we're doing all right.
And mate, you said you retired. Going to be tough to walk away after that?
Nah, not at all. Unless if you knew how I felt.
So last one ever?
Last one.
Not a bad way to go out, mate. Man of the match, congratulations, 2 tries.
Thanks,
well done.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thanks, Brett. Back up to you.
Another unsuccessful retiree for Royals. Coaxed back into action this year, but now will re-enter retirement with no regrets at all. Jason Swain, the grand final man of the match here at Viking Park, and well done to Ryan Murphy down there on ground level. It's just been an incredible afternoon of rugby. I'll do a quick recap of all the results in all grades here today at Viking Park. It's been a big day of grand final action, and it started this morning at 9:35 in the First Division second grade grand final, where Queanbeyan beat the Western District Lions 22 points to 5. In the First Division first grade grand final, it was Gungahlin beating Goulburn 28 points to 21. And then in the Colts grand final, Queanbeyan 27 beat Royals 21. The women's grand final was a big win to Uni North, 40 points to 19. The second grade grand final, Gungahlin beating Tuggeranong 24 points to 10. And in the Griffin Legal John I. Dent Cup grand final, just concluded now, 32 points to 31, Royals in favour of Tuggeranong. And Ryan Murphy at ground level has Wayne Southwell, the Royals
With
coach.
Royals head coach Wayne Southwell. Wayne, 3rd premiership in 5 years. Where does that rank, mate?
That was a fantastic feeling. It was just amazing. It's 1 point tells it all, I guess. I didn't really want to watch that last scrum. I don't think I saw the last 3 minutes, to be honest. So a very, very tight game, and it's just such a great feeling to come out at the right end of it this year. It was certainly devastating last year, but it was just, we're a bit slow again in that first half, so just nice to just to get the points on the board, I guess. It's just a relief in a lot of ways, I think.
Did you truly believe you'd be here at the start of the season with such a different squad, a young squad, and guys stepping up, from schoolboy level, from colt level, to be here as champions? Did you really believe you'd be here?
We were very, very rusty early. We won, but we were winning very ugly. I don't think we were winning, not looking real flash at all. But we just managed to find a way, and then it sort of came together from about the East game onwards in the last 4 or 5 weeks, I guess. Just the feel was very different in the last 2 weeks, particularly to last year. We just sort of kept the momentum there. So that was a great feeling. It was a really good blend of experience, obviously, with youth, and I thought the old brigade did really well there. I thought Swaney was fantastic today.
Well, just as you mentioned, he actually earned Man of the Match awards, and he just told us that he retired, and it was your phone call that got him out of retirement. Is that the best phone call you've ever made?
Straight after the grand final last year, and just to see him blossom again in finals time, he really brings out the best in those sorts of situations, and I thought he was fantastic today. Jamie couldn't get the ball to him a bit more often.
So what do you reckon, planning for next year, planning to be back here 1 year from now?
I certainly hope so, it's one of those things you just want to experience at the end of every season, I guess. Win, lose or draw, but obviously if you win it's a better feeling, so it's good.
Go on and enjoy it. Congratulations, Wayne. 3rd premiership in 5 years, Wayne Southwell. Back to you, Brett.
A very happy Wayne Southwell down there at ground level with Ryan Murphy. And he's spot on. It's exactly the sort of thing that you want to experience at the end of every year. And he's done it again, Wayne Southwell. Royals, 3rd premiership in 5 seasons. And this is exactly what Royals coaxed Wayne Southwell to the Royals club from Queanbeyan in 4. They wanted him to bring his grand final success, his premiership success to the Blue Baggers, and he's certainly done it again. And the crowd on the field and in the grandstand still just getting ready for the official presentations down at ground level. There it is, the John O. Dent, the Griffin Legal John O. Dent Cup there on the right. And the premiership medallions there on the left as well. We'll hope to bring you all the details of the presentation in just a moment. It might take a while to find the rest of the Royal squad. You can sort of see just to the right of the cup, where the cup table is. There's about 10 of the Royals players, but the rest of the squad, there's the guys that are ready for the presentation. There's 8 or 10 of them there. Jamie Bodman's lying down on the ground getting some treatment already post-match. But if we come back to that wider shot, the rest of the Royals players are just in the middle of that huddle there somewhere. So the presentation will get underway here very shortly, and we'll bring that all to us. It's been an absolutely magnificent grand final day here at Viking Park. A few more of the Royals players filtering over towards the presentation area. Andy Muirhead there in picture. Such an important player for them, scored that crucial try, what we thought was going to give them, it felt at the time like a comfortable premiership win, but Tuggeranong, of course, having a final say in the closing minutes, and the celebrations absolutely carry on. The forwards there, the young forwards, Cowan, Von Blankensee, Kotluski, Jack Farrell, Alex Veras there, number 20, Rory Scott there in the number 8.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the presentation. I'd like to introduce the presenters. Mr. Peter Johnson, the President of the ACT and Southern New South Wales Rugby Union. There's Stuart Jones from Griffin Legal. And Mr. David Lewis, OAM, on behalf of Dr. Bob Smedfield.
Try and see if we can bring you.
Thank you very much.
Bring you the presentation audio cut down to it as soon as we can.
I know that Vikings took out the minor premiership by 1 point over Royals, and today 1 point once again split the two teams, except it went the other way. So congratulations to you all. Hope you have enjoyed your season and go and celebrate tonight. We also wish Louis Carberry all our best. Hope he has a speedy recovery.
Message down in the presentation area there. Just wishing everyone's best wishes to Billy Carberry. I certainly hope that there's some good news on his front, first of all. Our referees coming up to receive their awards. And they had a really good game, the three of them. Matt Hogan, Brodie Ingram there, and Dennis Beisner, the assistant referees. Thompson. Isaac Thompson coming up for Tuggeranong to say a few words. Isaac Thompson just thanking Royals for the game, congratulating them on their win. Congratulating his own players on what has been a wonderful season. We've forgotten through the course of the day, I mentioned Tuggeranong, of course, are the minor premiers, and probably thought entering the final series they might be favourites, but they found out in the qualifying final a few weeks ago. It doesn't always go your way.
I'd like to announce the True Fit and Hill PTP Player of the Match.
True Fit and Hill PTP Player of the Match in the Hard Superdry Grand Final.
Jason Swain.
Close out his rugby career. We certainly wish him the best of luck in retirement, and we hope that he has a little bit more success in retirement this time around.
Look like a game, mate. I think I said it about 4 times already. I wouldn't do it for any other club. It's for you guys, right?
He wouldn't come out of retirement for any other club. Thanking his teammates. This one's very much for them, he said. Jason Swain, the PTP, True Fit and Hill, man of the match in the Hard Superdry Grand Final. 2 tries to the veteran outside centre. Comes forward to accept the Griffin Legal John I. Dent Cup for 2019. Scored a wonderful try himself, did the Royals captain.
What a crack of a game. Just mugging Isaac, Scrib and the boys. 32-31.
Thanking the Tuggeranong players, Ben Johnson.
Probably a little luck at the end of the game there.
Tuggeranong faces still tell the picture. So close, so far in the end.
The officials, obviously, thank you very much. We couldn't have these games without you.
Through the game, they're no doubt
Legal,
running those through their heads already, the Vikings players.
To our boys, amazing. I'm proud of every single one of you, the whole squad, full club effort there.
Johnson,
Sally and the coaching staff done an amazing job this year.
pride in this side,
Training's been very, very professional.
coaching team, the
For
supporters,
our physio and medical staff, you've done a fantastic job keeping everyone
physical,
in the paddock.
physios and medical
Keeping
staff
some of
as
us
well.
all together. So good night. Thanks
It's a
everyone.
little bit lost for words. A little lost for words. He's the Royals captain. Cup for 2019. Royals are the winners. And what a way it's been to go out this season. Gathering there. They're doing that. Celebrations get well and truly underway for Royals. Down in front of the grandstand. The Griffin Legal John I. Dent Cup champions for 2019. Launching the club song. Young daughter there in the front of the celebrations perhaps wasn't quite ready for that. So the Royals are the champions of 2019. So they'll come forward now and get their premiership medallions, the Royals players. Still, of course, plenty of rugby to come here at Viking Park in 2019. The Canberra Vikings kicking off their National Rugby Championship campaign on Saturday the 31st of August against the Melbourne Rising in Melbourne. The first home game is here, round 3, a fortnight after that against Brisbane City at 2 o'clock, and that will be a great game, of course. The Wallabies against New Zealand tonight at Eden Park. That would be just underway now, in fact, so can this be the year? The The Bledisloe Cup drought is still going ahead. Can this be the year that the drought ends for the Wallabies? Some personal thanks to me in this from me in this moment to Matt Vowles from Brumbies Rugby, to Brendan McCormack from Bar TV, and all of my co-commentators from all 7 clubs throughout the year, but especially to Ryan Murphy throughout this final series. He's done a fantastic job over the last month, and particularly today on grand final day. But that will do us, I think, from us here at Arundel. Thank you so much for your company throughout 2019 on Bar TV Sports. For Ryan Murphy and the team, I'm Brett McKay. How good is club rugby? Congratulations, Royals. And go the Wallabies tonight.